Nice work. Nice work. That's excellent work right there on what is actually a Wednesday, but we're doing the Tuesday show anyway. My name's Ultra David.
And I'm James Chan. How's everybody going?
My bad. It's totally my fault that this is today and not yesterday, and also not the previous week.
Dude, it's fine. You got life stuff to do.
Yeah, well, basically my wife and I went to go visit her family where they're from in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So we were gone for a week doing that. I have a couple new nephews to go visit, so it was awesome.
Some pictures.
Yes, it was great. We had a great time. But as a result, I came back yesterday and, couldn't do it.
Right.
Either the last 2 weeks. So anyway, we're here doing some of the stuff.
I didn't want to skip 2 weeks because I felt like there would have been too much stuff to talk about. So
totally,
I just want to do this now. So yeah.
Totally right. So here's what we're talking about. We're talking about the Smash World Tour. That's definitely big news. We're talking about the fact that Granblue is actually out now in the U.S. and a couple of characters have come out in DLC. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about the coronavirus fears and event cancellations.
Except I can't put it in the title because apparently if I put it on title, then YouTube will flag us because that happened to me and I even contested it and they're like, we reviewed it, but it stands.
Yeah. So we're not going to put that in the title.
Yeah.
There's a couple of events to talk about, although I think the show's probably going to be too packed, so we're not going to get to too much of that. And then there are other bits of FGC news having to do with a few other games, a few other tournament series, Final Combat's coming up this weekend, etc.
That's right. All right, so...
Smash World Tour. Wow.
I think this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's a pretty big deal. What's going on? So the Smash World Tour 2020 was announced.
Yes.
And... It is a big deal. I mean, I agree with you. Just as a sort of broad overview, it's a series of community-organized circuit. It's a circuit for both Melee and for Ultimate, with big prize pools at the end.
So 125,000 split between the two. I'm sorry, for both games each.
Correct.
So $250,000 total.
Correct. So at the finals, 125K will go to Ultimate, 125K will go to Melee in their prize pools.
That's pretty cool.
Totally, dude. So in effect, 250K. And by the way, that is a guaranteed amount because, as we'll get to, there's a chance that there's going to be more involved.
Okay.
So it's run in many ways like other FGC tours. It's quite similar to the Tekken Tour, for example. So you have like premiers or masters or whatever the tour likes to call its highest level thing, and then you have rankings or whatever, right? Like the secondary thing. So you have premier and gold, and then in addition you have silver events, which are basically dojos. So there, anybody can operate an event, and as long as you have a minimum threshold of players, which is bigger than in the Tekken World Tour, then you can opt in your event to be part of the tour.
Right.
Right. And it's a points by points thing. So 32 players will get into the finals, 31 of them by points, one by LCQ.
Right, of course.
And the points will be allocated in basically the same way that Tekken does it. So your top 3 placings at platinum events, your top 3 placings at gold events, and your top 6 placings at silvers. Whereas,
so doing it just like the Tekken World Tour.
Well, the only difference there is that Tekken does your top 4
Right.
dojos,
But I mean, they're still making it so that, there's a little bit of limit to the gatekeeping you can do, essentially.
Exactly right.
Okay.
And then, so it'll be top 32. The finals will be December 17th through 20th. And then I looked up the pricing, and it's great. I mean, so it's not a case of like, the first place getting $100,000.
No. Okay.
Let me bring it up here. It was $40K for first place, $20K for second place, $12K for third place, $9K for fourth place. Fifth places will get $6,000 each.
Wow.
Seventh places will get $4K each. Ninth will get $2,000 each. 13th, $1,400 each. 17th, $800 each, and then 25th, which is to say all top 32, right? All 32 players. 25th places will get $500 each. So everybody's being taken care of.
I think that's really good.
It's fantastic.
I mean, they're not used to winning that much anyway. So no, but I mean, again, that's really cool though because that makes sure that you can support, more of the scene that way.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I already see people addressing it in the chat. This is a community-run thing. and it's being primarily done by Video Game Bootcamp, VGBC, and Super Smash Con folks. And they're partnering with Smash GG for it. It is not Nintendo. This is not Nintendo run.
Is there anything like Twitch is involved or anybody else? Because I'm wondering where they're getting the prize money from, right? Or is that just...
My understanding is that it's from Smash GG. If I read that in the rules, or if that's like a community rumor, I couldn't tell you. But I believe that it's by Smash GG that's putting it.
Was Wobbling banned at the Melee events? That makes me kind of sad. If that's the case. But yeah, so this is absolutely just a community-created event.
Yes.
Now, obviously, that brings a little concerns here because, we'll be talking about event cancellations coming up, but, we don't know if, a certain big N out there might just be like, you can't do this and put the kibosh on them, right?
Nintendo could totally screw it up.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that we've talked about many times in the past. Video game rights holders can do whatever they want.
Yeah, because you remember Nintendo the first year that Melee got back into Evo.
Yeah,
Nintendo said you can't stream this.
Yes,
right? They tried to put the kibosh on the streaming.
They did.
Everyone complained about it, and then like in an hour, it was like, okay, you can go ahead and stream it.
That was so fast. Honestly, I was driving to Evo at the time. I got a text about it, and I pulled off to the side of the road into one of those little convenience stores. And I like furiously texted and emailed and called everybody to figure out what was going on.
Right.
And literally in an hour, maybe 2 hours.
No, it was less. It was less than that.
Less than an hour. I mean, it was super fast. Nintendo decided to revert that.
I saw it.
The internet exploded.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I was
not just FGC stuff. Not just Smash stuff.
I was about to fly to Evo, and before I got on the plane, I was like, oh God, no, I can't believe Nintendo's doing this. I got on the plane. It's not a very long flight to Vegas from Los Angeles. I got off the plane. They've changed their decisions. And I was like, whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
So Nintendo has the power to do it. Now, as in that case, it would be tremendous bad press.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible press. They could. I hope they won't. But they could. Yeah. And part of why this hasn't happened before is the concern about that. Is the concern that Nintendo would think about that. If you're the party who's committing to putting up $250K, you're making a big bet, right? And I think that it's not by accident that the money's only at the very end. So, okay, the prize pools are for the finals.
Right.
The prize pools are not like an additional $20K per pot, right? As some of the other tours will do that, right? So they'll go to a major and they'll say, okay, well, major, you run the event, bonus, but here's a big pot bonus. Here's some other kind of assistance that we provide to you. Typically, it's not a lot, to be frank, but sometimes, they'll do that stuff. That's not happening here.
Right.
As far as I know.
The separate events, as far as we know, will just be run as they are run.
Correct.
And they will just be a part of the tour. I don't even know what kind of responsibilities they have to put Smash World Tour logos all over anything, right? We have no idea.
I don't know, right. So, I think there's probably a couple reasons for that. One is that this is a community-run thing. But then the second one is, dude, if I were running an event like this, if I were committing to providing a prize pool, I would not want to beat out $40,000 for the first two events and then Nintendo to be like, all right, later, it's shut down, you've lost $1 billion. I would wait until the very end too. So I think that is pragmatic and that makes some sense just for rights holders' concerns.
And it sucks that there's always going to be that weight kind of hanging over, but
definitely.
I know a bunch of groups have probably tried to do Smash circuits before, and when it's probably something more official, they would have to get Nintendo's blessing to do it. But since this is community run, I think they can try to squeeze this in there and see what Nintendo does. But I mean, what if it gets to the finals and then Nintendo says you can't run the finals? What if they just let it go the whole year and then say you can't stream the finals or something like that?
Maybe.
They absolutely have the right to. It would absolutely suck and everybody would be mad, obviously. But,
of course.
Oh man, it's scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big bummer. I know that this kind of thing has been tossed around before. Thanks, you guys, Jimmy, for your billion months in a row.
I know, seriously.
I know this has been tossed around before, and it hasn't worked. And in part, my understanding is that the Nintendo issue is there, and people haven't wanted to challenge that. And then in part, it's that it's hard to get all the big tournaments together. So I mentioned that this is a community-run thing that's just sort of being run at existing events. Well, let's talk about the events, because while many of them are there and have been established, they have a whole schedule of events up on their website. They do not have 5 of the 6 biggest Smash events.
Oh, really?
They do not.
Okay.
They do not have big majors like EVO, Big House, Shine, Riptide, Full Bloom, Mainstage. Genesis and Frostbite just happened, right? I mean,
so
they're outside of the schedule entirely, outside of the calendar for it. There are not currently any 2GG events involved. So it's hard to get everybody to agree on the same rule sets. It's hard to get everybody to agree on a way to sort of sell their event against advertising, right?
And I mean, there's even situations like, what if 2GG was secretly planning something like this too?
What if they wanted to do it too?
You know, so they could just be at a point where they are, hey, this is interfering with our plan, so we don't want to support this kind of thing.
And again, this tour is not providing additional funds to the events, so it may be that it just comes with obligations without there actually being like a financial reason why the tournament should include itself.
Right.
So it's hard to get events all under the same banner. It's been rarely tried in other parts of the FGC. Shoryuken stuff did it for a little while. EVO did it for a little while, I should say. And it just didn't last, and it's hard to keep it up.
It's tough.
It's hard.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Also, by the way, with the EVO, is EVO part of any world tours right now?
I don't know that it's part of any world tours. Yeah, not that I've heard.
I wonder if this year EVO just said we don't want to be part of world tours or something.
I do not.
It's very weird.
For sure.
Oh,
Thanks for the sub, Nidric. So that is a bummer that it's not some of the biggest events. And again, part of that's understandable.
Some people are saying they are part of the ArcSys tour.
Oh, is that?
I know that they're the finals of the Battle for the Grid World Tour.
Oh, well, that's true. Although it's not an official game there.
Yeah, very weird. Anyways, that's a side,
and then in addition,
thing.
The finals are on the same weekend as Don't Park on the Grass, which is Seattle's biggest Smash tournament.
Oh, no, right. Okay.
So, I mean, what the reason for that is, I couldn't tell you.
I mean, it was probably... I mean, it's almost always going to be, hey, that venue we picked, this was the weekend that was free.
Could be.
And we don't have any choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. Yeah, I mean, hard to have any more specifics or knowledge about why some tournaments said yes, some said no, because it's all stuff I'm not privy to. But like I said, I think it's just hard to get all the tournaments together. I would be surprised if it was something that was very practical and easy. Mentioned it's partnering with Smash GG. They will launch an official shop with merch. Okay, so you know Smash GG does that, right? Like they'll have little shops, compendiums, and the like.
Right.
And that will be here, so that will be a way to help grow the prize pool in addition to supporting Smash GG.
It could be like those Street Fighter V DLC packages that increase the prize pool.
Right.
In other words, so depending on how much gets sold. And I mean, I did see some people saying that Twitch is also helping as well, partnering with everybody. I'm not sure. That's what I saw in the chat, but you know how chat can definitely give us some wrong impressions.
Well, I wouldn't be too surprised. I think
code and stuff, but you know,
yes,
I'm just kidding. I'm blaming
gnarly.
the chat. Yes.
Gnarly.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a big surprise.
Yeah, some people
Twitch
are saying
a
that
lot
Twitch
of money
is
for
a
it.
partner, so
maybe I just missed that.
Okay.
Well, whatever. Just figure that out later. In any case, okay. I assume they're being correct about that. I think that's all of the initial sort of info about it. So, what's your thought about this?
I mean, I think it's about time, and I mean, I'm sure they've been trying it for a while, and maybe a lot of people were just scared that Nintendo would come and just maybe they just didn't want to.
Twitch is on the website. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it might have just been one of those things where they just were scared of stepping on Nintendo's toes, and finally one group was like, look, we're going to try this. We're going to see if we can make this work, because this needs to happen. We're tired of the scene not having this kind of support. And, the dangerous part for them is, it's not even just this year, right? So if they run it this year and it's cool, and it's wonderful and it goes well, and Nintendo doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
As the event garners more attention and starts earning more and more money, that's when things are going to get dangerous. So I'm sure if Melee was at EVO, 3 years before that one year, Nintendo probably wouldn't have cared. But because EVO had gotten so big, all of a sudden they could care. So, that's kind of the fear, is that they set this up, and let's say it goes great in the first year, and everyone's like, this is awesome. And then the next year, Nintendo's like, they made a lot of money off of this. And it's all gone. Because right now, if it's small potatoes, maybe they don't care. But as soon as it starts encroaching in something that Nintendo can earn, that's a problem. And so at the same time, you want it to see it get bigger, but at the same time, you're like, maybe it shouldn't get bigger. Maybe it should stay kind of underground.
There's so much uncertainty created by the law. I mean, I've railed against this many times, but rights holders just have too much power in the context of esports. We have to think about it too much. And it's too often just a nice windfall for them. That's what esports is, right? It's just like everybody else did the work. The work of making esports and competitive gaming was done by the community. And then sometimes esports come in, or rights holders, I should say, and sort of skim off the top, right? That's what esports is, I feel.
So even if, for example, like, in the chat, someone's saying that maybe Nintendo would just take over or something, but, I mean, that does kind of suck for everybody involved if they take over and kick everybody out and say, thanks for this. If you establish this is a great idea. We're taking it now. We're running our own. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for doing all the work, folks.
Yeah.
And by the way, what they could do is not just take over, but they could also sue the people who are running it and say, not only are we going to take over your work, but you're going to have to pay us up to 6 figures per infringement, which is the statutory maximum for it. It's probably not going to happen, obviously.
Yeah, and again, knowing Nintendo is also very Marvel-esque in terms of how picky they are. So if they do take it over, and let's say they don't even fire everyone, but then all these events now are going to have to be officially Nintendo branded. They're going to have their approval team. You're going to create these overlays. They're going to they're going to clean everything up.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be able to talk about any other video game on stream except for the ones that are showing up in the game.
Yeah.
If you mention any sort of outside source, you will be kicked off commentary.
Every commentator's Twitter stream has to be clean, which was a real request that was asked of me when they were thinking about asking me to commentate Pokken.
Oh, really?
Yes. They were like, you're going to have to clean up your Twitter. And I was just like, I don't think I got back to them.
You're like, I will just ignore this and hopefully they don't come back and say anything.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So,
Daddy NRS is here. Isn't it more like esports is skimming off rights holders' creations? You got it. Yeah, that's the history of competitive gaming. Anyway, I'll see you this weekend for Final Combat. Looking forward to that, provided by NetherRealm Studios. Thanks to Roadrunner Records for being a partner.
Oh, boy, yeah. All hail our developers who are yeah. But no, that's I guess that's kind of where I stand right now. Is I'm just really scared that this could be the start of something great, and that would make it even more painful. Like if they shut it down now, we can just be like, we kind of knew it. We tried. Let's move on and do something. But if they go 1 year and then everybody and the finals are amazing and it's super hype and it gets 500,000 views on Twitch. And then Nintendo's like, wait a second, this is all our money that we should be making. And then, what if they stop it partway through the tournament? What if the tournament gets 200,000 views and they're playing and all of a sudden, someone gets a call, Twitch gets a call and they're like, you need to shut this down now. You need to shut this down now. That
would be a big bummer.
Right.
Yes.
And then they would have to all of a sudden just quit in the middle of everything right before the big finale, and then just be like, we endorse Biden. I mean, we
Wow.
love Nintendo.
Very topical.
We love Nintendo kind of situation. So, I mean, once you get that phone call,
you get the phone call.
Once you get that phone call,
better fall in line. So what their website says about the question. Is Nintendo involved with the Smash World Tour? The FAQ response is, As of now, the Smash World Tour is not affiliated or associated with Nintendo or Nintendo of America, though we hope to team up with them in the future. One of our goals with the tour is to offer a unified way for Nintendo to directly support the competitive scene. And by the way, each time it says Nintendo or Nintendo of America, it mentions the registered trademark symbol.
Yes. Of course, yes. Of course. Yes.
No stepping on toes. So that's... If one of their goals is to make that happen, that'd be great. If Nintendo saw this and has the response you're talking about, awful. If instead their response is, oh, this is cool, somebody who's built an established infrastructure for this, let's give them a few $100K or whatever. Give them $10K, whatever it is, right? That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Or if even if it was less than that and it was just Nintendo being like, look, cool, you can do it. Just to give them a license with no money changing hands in any way, even that would be great. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
That would strangely be like considered the ultimate win.
Totally. So yeah, right.
You know, to have Nintendo literally say, go ahead, continue forth. You know, we're not going to support you financially, but I mean, that's already good enough. Because like I said, right now, trademark on the page. I mean, every time I feel like we say the word Nintendo, I need to flash trademark on the screen. Right
We are not affiliated.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on the whole entire thing?
Well, I think it's great as an idea, as an overarching idea. Again, it's something that's been attempted before and just hasn't worked out. So I'm happy to see somebody try to make it happen. I think some of the ways that they're going about it, aren't ideal and maybe just can't be solved really. Like, it's a bummer that so many of the major events aren't on it.
Right.
And I know that's been a deal breaker for things in the past. So maybe there's just nothing to be done about that, but it is still nevertheless a bummer. It's a bummer that finals are on the same weekend as as an established event. I forgot to mention this. By the way, thanks to Curly for all the info about this.
Oh, dang, nice.
But Curly mentioned that there are no events in California for it. There's none in New England for it. Those are two very strong regions in the Smash context, and they're just not repped.
Is Apex? I saw Apex was coming back.
Yeah, Apex, not affiliated with the previous dude.
Right.
Right. But yeah, it is. Yeah.
So they're just bringing the name back, and it's going to be on the tour, right?
I think I saw it on the tour. Let me double check for you, but I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm bringing that up now. So I think some of it is a bit of a bummer. I am happy for the Smash pros who will, assuming this all works out, make more money.
I mean,
Apex.
theoretically, because the thing about it is, where's the more money going to come from? It's really just going to be from the finals or bigger prize pools from the stops on the tour because more people are entering for points. Yeah. That's usually one of the biggest draws there. But is it going to be that much more, than it was before?
Yeah. So I think a fair criticism of this is that it will give more money to the Smash pros. Hungrybox and MKLeo are gonna be in the finals, right? Like they'll be there. They'll be in top 8. They probably will both win. You know what I mean? Like that's, or at least they'll be somewhere up in the very high spots. They're gonna make more money. So will a few other people. Does it matter to anybody else that they do that?
Right. Because the thing is, some of those guys there too might not be the ones that need that money, right? Like Hungrybox has got a lot of good sponsors. He's been doing a lot of cool things with. Yeah. I mean, he was in a freaking Campbell's Chunky Soup commercial. He drove a Honda, So, I mean, I think Hungrybox is doing okay.
Well, he is. That said, I mean, I support him making more money. I'm just not sure that it's terribly relevant to the scene, with the exception maybe that people like seeing their favorite players do well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And earn money.
And the Smash scene is very into that.
And that matters to them, totally. So I think that's nice. And they did as well as they could have, designing that payout structure such that all top 32 players get paid.
Do you feel like it'll bring Zero back out?
I don't think so. I feel like that. I think he's making buku bucks, dude.
Yeah,
I tell you. I think he's doing A-okay with streaming and YouTube. Yeah. No, I don't think it'll make that change.
Didn't he get picked up by a different streaming service? I forgot. Zero?
Oh, yeah. Isn't he on Facebook now?
Is he on Facebook or is he on...
I believe he's on Facebook
whatever
now.
Microsoft streaming...
I think he's on Facebook.
Okay. Oh, people are saying Facebook. Yeah, there you go.
There he is. Yeah, on Facebook. Okay. They must have given him a crap load of money
I
for
know.
that. I don't know. That's my guess. So, anyway, this is nice for those top players. It would be nice if it also ended up making material changes in the way that the rest of the scene deals with things, but this sort of the way that world tours work is that just hasn't really happened, and I don't know if it really can happen like that, so it's not going to be a criticism that I level specifically against Smash World Tour. That's just
This is
how the pro
this
tours
is
work,
our
right?
problem with just in general. Like,
Yeah.
you can't pay everybody who enters tournaments because it just doesn't make
Of
any
course,
sense.
of course.
You know, you can't be like, you know what, places 64 through 128, we'll give them a little extra money just because, you know, they worked hard and they did decently. You know, it's
Yeah.
something we would like to do,
Oh,
but
well,
the,
yeah.
but the funds aren't there.
Right.
You know, if it can get to the point where, I mean, obviously, Poker World Tour, you know, the World Series of Poker can do that. They pay out like, but they also their
What's your entrance fees?
$10,000.
Yeah,
You
okay.
know, so everybody who enters pays $10,000. So, you know, I mean, I had a friend who I think it was like a 30th or a 40th birthday gift. Like a bunch of people pooled it together to give him an entry into it, and he had a wonderful time and everything. But you know, that is quite a
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's. I wouldn't even know what to say if that happened to me. I don't think I could accept that. That's incredible.
He'd be like, "Can I put it to something else?"
Yes, yeah. I'd like to just invest that if that's okay. Like,
Can I pocket that? I kind of
Yeah.
need it. I'm actually. Oh man, I'm doing my taxes tomorrow. So
oh, okay, fancy.
It's time for me to get destroyed. So
Well,
it's not going to be pretty.
no, it probably
It's
won't
not
be.
gonna pretty.
So I saw a little bit of hand wringing among the people who do the rankings, the player rankings in Smash, right?
Oh,
There-
by the way, just to answer that, no, everybody pays 10 grand, but there's like a top few hundred players who actually make out, and when they do, that was the wrong term, they actually get some prize money, and those
Yeah.
that do get the prize money always end up making more than they put in for the entry
Of course.
fee. And there was also this problem too where people would turtle because no one wanted to be the bubble boy, basically is what they called it, the last person who didn't make it in.
Yep.
So what they ended up doing was, as soon as it gets to that point where it gets close, nobody can play a hand until everybody finishes a hand, and then they all start the next hand, so nobody tries to turtle everyone else out.
pretty smart.
You know, they set it up that way. It was such a thing, you know.
Sure, I get it.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So I've seen a little bit of hand wringing on Twitter from the folks who do the player rankings in Smash, right? Which is a significant part of that scene.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they'll keep track of who the top 100 are, and different regions have their own rankings, and I think that's pretty cool. You know, I think that's a good idea. I like that they do that. But the response from the chance that Hungrybox will win $40,000 at the end of the year is like so much greater than the response to the idea that you could have a ranking yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like,
So people are happier with the idea that their Hungrybox
Right.
can win money than
that they could be included as like one of the
Right.
listed top players, essentially.
because I mean that's kind of the way the Smash community has been. A lot of times it's been very much. And again, I used to be very critical of this, but now I just treat it as that's just the nature.
Yeah, it's just
they're
different.
very celebrity focused. Right. So you have the situation where people are asking for autographs in the middle of matches and things like that, just because that's kind of the environment that they've crafted. And, you know, the documentaries and everything, they've always kind of presented these, you know, they were the ones that created the idea of the gods, and, you know, they really tried to promote the heroes out there. And it just kind of ended up that way.
So I don't know. I mean, that's not ideal, but I understand why people would respond in the way that they have. Certainly for me, it would be more interesting to be like mentioned as a top whatever number player than that the top players would earn more money. But again, I'm happy that the top players will, assuming that it all works out, will make more money. Totally.
Yeah.
I do support that for sure.
Yeah, but again, I mean, if we ignore all the potential threats from Nintendo and, you know, those kind of aspects, again, I just can't see this but anything but a positive for the Smash community. I mean, these guys have been kind of struggling in this department for a long time. You know, the Evo prize pool, because Nintendo never supports, has never really been any, you know, huge amount of money, and that's been happening with most of the other events too. That's why a lot of the Smash players have been going through this for all the events. They just make the money through the entry fees. And so having something like this, being able to win $40,000, it's not going to be quite the same life-changing money as $250,000 to like a MENA or something. But, you know, it's still a significant amount, and the fact that it spreads further down means more players can, you know, hopefully afford to keep trying to do this again the next year. And if there's that one player who makes a breakthrough, you know, who isn't, you know, one of the big players or super sponsored or anything, you know, isn't on Team Liquid or something, you know, this could be a very big deal for them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, big news.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to say about the Smash World Tour?
No, just really, really hope you guys luck.
Hope you guys luck indeed.
Yeah, and hope Nintendo plays nice.
Yeah. Hope you guys luck Nintendo.
Okay, there you go. Hope you guys luck Nintendo.
That's right, buddy.
Did you just verb the word luck?
Yes. First you have to make out, though.
Yeah, I know, right?
What else we got?
Big news on the Grand Blue Fantasy Versus front.
Okay.
The game has finally been released in the United States.
Ta-da!
Yep, so Asia got a little bit of a head start, as well as anyone who was willing to import the Asian versions.
Yeah.
But now it is officially out in the U.S., officially out. Everyone can play it everywhere. It's time. Well, sorry,
No,
Europe.
that's right.
Sorry, Europe.
Yeah.
You gotta wait another 9 days. Same thing with the Steam players as well. I think it comes out on the 13th as
Correct.
well. But yeah, for those of you who want to get it on PS4, you have that option now, and you can start practicing and start playing up on the game. So, have you grabbed it yet?
Negative. I've been out of town.
That's right. That's true. That's
but
fair.
I'm definitely going to get it, yes.
Okay. So, I only have the Hong Kong version right now. I also bought the Season Pass on the Hong Kong version just for those 2 characters for 1 day. But, you know, when I did it on stream, I was like, all right, if I get 5 subs right now.
Oh, my God.
I felt dirty, but, you know.
Wow.
And then I managed to get it. So, I did mess with the new characters out there already. So
Okay, talk to me about the new characters.
So
Beelzebub and Narmaya.
New characters have come out, and Narmaya, interesting design. And here's what's really cool about the way that they're developing this game, because a lot of people were scared that the game was going to be very beginner friendly, wasn't going to have a lot of complex characters or whatever, but Narmaya is a stance character.
Okay.
So her special button, I guess they call it the U button.
Drive.
The unique button. Okay. It's called U.
All right.
Unique button, which is great because, you know, that doesn't get confused with U on other games that stands for up or anything like that.
What are you going to do?
But, you know, the U button makes her change stances. So she has 2 stances, which I lovingly call Ukyo stance and Haomaru stance.
Okay.
Because one, the blade is sheathed the entire time. The other time she holds it above her head. So
gotcha.
Ukyo and Haomaru stances. But the interesting thing about it is you can change pretty much in the middle of anything. So if I'm doing a special move in one stance, I can hit the stance change button. You'll see a psh, and that means after you're done, you're in the other stance.
Oh, okay.
It's only when you return to neutral, though.
Okay,
so
sure,
even if you do like AAA and hit AA, unique A, and then cancel into a special move, you'll cancel into the stance that you are currently in. It'll finish, and then you come out in a switched stance.
Oh.
But she also has some moves that, for example, in Ukyo stance, she has a command dash, but that can be canceled into special moves, but it can only be canceled into Haomaru stance special moves. So you automatically switch.
Interesting.
Now the funny thing is you can command dash, cancel that into like her little flip move that she has that she flips over your head, and while you're flipping you can hit the unique button and switch back, so after you're done with it you're back into Ukyo stance again. But you know, she has a lot of that. What's interesting to me though is that she doesn't seem to have a lot of crazy mix-ups or anything, but she has one distinct advantage, is that every one of her special moves in both stances have their own cooldowns. So if you use an EX quarter circle forward and switch stances, you've still got quarter circle forward in the other stance available to you. So you can kind of bide your time switching back and forth.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So like I said, it's interesting because they like I said, it seems like they were trying to make this game for beginners, but no, it absolutely is not.
Yeah, that's not for beginners at all.
It is definitely not for beginners. So she's a really interesting character. Some people at first have thought that maybe she might not be that good because she doesn't have a lot of good frame trappy kind of sequences. Like none of her special moves are safe. She doesn't have a good special move that's even safe on block that's their turn. She's just punishable on almost everything. She doesn't have an uppercut in Ukyo stance. Well, Ukyo stance is like old Zeku. She has a little more range.
Okay.
And then Haomaru is like young Zeku, shorter range,
okay.
But faster
okay.
kind of stuff. But she does have some advantages. She's one of the only characters who can do 2 crouching lights into a standing light. But her standing light is the same close and far, so she can go into the target combo. Most characters have to do 1 low into the target combo. She can actually do 2 lows into the target combo. So, if you master her properly and really get used to just doing the standard, like when I was playing Lowain, I don't think Lowain was that good, but he has good frame trap stuff. And then you can win if you just play solid fundamentals, shimmies, bait people into stuff. And she can kind of do a little bit of the same thing, but I think her damage output might be a little higher. And she just has some really again, like she's just came out.
Of course.
When I saw her, I wasn't sure because, like I said, she didn't feel like she had very good mix-up. She's got an interesting side switch mix-up that if you get hit by the side switch mix-up, you are playing the game wrong. You deserve to die because you've got a block button.
Yeah. Come on.
Even when I fought Lancelot, Lancelot teleports behind you and all this stuff.
Right.
And I just got used to when he got next to me just to start holding the block button and going up and down.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so, if you're getting hit by the side switch mix-ups by Narmaya, you're playing the game wrong.
Right.
She doesn't really have very good overheads. She has like a Tiger Knee spinny blade thing that's a high hit. It's not even it's not even overhead. So, I'm wondering how it's going to be, but then some other people are saying like her normals are super good, so she will be good. So I'm interested to see how she's going to turn out.
I haven't played her, but on Twitter I've seen what seems like a lot of different opinions. And I think it may be temporally based, like you said. Like at the very beginning, people first tried her, they were like, I don't know. But I've also seen people say that they think she's clearly strong.
Yeah.
Quite strong. I don't know. I'm just saying I've seen people say that.
Right. Okay. I mean, I thought maybe she could be my new main because apparently I love characters with samurai swords. I was thinking about it with katanas, and I was thinking about that. I was like, I like Jubei, I like Johnny, I like Baiken, I like Bishamon. Okay. And then I was like, wait a minute, Leonardo is my favorite ninja turtle.
Dude, you're a sword guy?
I liked Yuzuriha.
You're a sword bro? That's...
Not just a sword bro, but it has to be the samurai sword, I guess.
What a nerd.
I guess.
Oh my
and so I was
God.
like, maybe I'll try Narmaya, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel it too much.
Okay.
I didn't feel it too much with her. So even though someone in my chat kept telling me, like, I was confused by this because I've only seen her use the katanas, but someone in my chat kept telling me she has really big bazookas, and I haven't been able to get those weapons yet. I don't have to play through the RPG mode, and I'm sure like that's gonna make her completely different as a character, right? So I don't know. I haven't seen that yet. So maybe that might actually make her much stronger.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I had people in my chats being like, because people, like, I would say that, like, whenever the person in my chat would say that, and everybody would be like, they're talking about her chest, James. And I'm like, oh, really? I would have no idea.
No way. Personally, I don't go in for such bawdry humor myself. If I have to put up with it, I will, I guess.
Yeah. You prefer the fart humor far more. Fart more. Yes.
That's highbrow humor.
Yeah. Actually, they don't have hitboxes, by the way. That was apparently a fake.
Really?
Yeah. I think that was... So I saw somewhere say that was a fake edit. I'm not 100% sure.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It is fake.
It is fake.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so funny.
So
okay,
it's not a real thing.
There's a video going on out there of her having does some move, and so there's a hitbox that comes out on the actual attack, but in addition, on her boobs there was a hitbox.
Right.
Okay, well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then Beelzebub is a really interesting character because he's really slow walk speed. His jump is really not very good. It feels like it's very vertical and not like Blanca fast. It's like a vertical slow jump. His jump heavy punch is this quick 3-hit attack that causes no hit stun. His jumping medium doesn't seem to cause a lot of hit stun. So it actually, and then like if you poke with the farthest range standing medium kick, if the opponent, it's weird. If the opponent's standing, nothing combos off of it. But if the opponent's crouching, you can do the light spin only if you're like at sort of tip range. But if they're standing, your foot has to be like entirely in them to be able to get a combo off of one special move. So I feel like he has this problem at this range. The problem is that he has a teleport that teleports to the other side of you. That's his unique.
Okay.
He just goes to the other side of you, and then he also has a special move that's like Seth, where he vacuums you in. And the EX version, if he vacuums you in, he pulls you in instantly, and it hits you, and it knocks you down, and he gets like 10 days to combo you. And after he knocks you down, everything, if he throws you, he can teleport. If he does something, he can meaty suction that turns it into a plus move.
Okay.
So basically, it seems like to me, he's this character who is gonna have maybe a little trouble trying to fight you. If you almost kind of have to fight him like a grappler. Be careful with your zoning.
Okay.
But then once he gets in on you, and if he hits you with an EX, now you can't quick rise, so he's just going to teleport over to you, get a perfect meaty, then do this into the meaty vacuum, and so it feels like he's a very snowbally character. But again, I haven't seen anyone play him yet, but that's my impression of him so far. Yeah, so he seems really interesting to me, but we'll see how he ends up being. Right now, it doesn't seem like either of the characters are super overpowered, but also I think there's enough unknowns that I think that they both can be developed into something interesting.
Huh. Well, that sounds cool. They both sound they both sound like they have interesting ideas. I mean, you remember when we were talking about how people were worried that the game would be too simple, and I think we both were like, come on, like, it's just absurd. Like, of course there will be complexity. Of course. A fighting game is just gonna be complex.
Yes.
Like, they all are, even the ones that are supposed to be simple, they all are. And it's Arxis, and Arxis is gonna put in weird stuff, of course.
Arxis gonna Arxis,
of
basically.
Course. So it's not a surprise to me, but I'm still happy to see it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I've been having a lot of fun with it still. Although I've just mostly been labbing. I haven't had a chance to play it again because Uniclair came out.
Oh,
and
fair enough, dude.
I started playing a bunch of Uniclair, and oh man, can I just tangent right now?
1 second.
No, you can just listen at this point. But man, when I played Uniclair again, oh, it felt so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it felt so good. I was so happy to play that game again. Yeah, it feels so good, and then it's the only game I feel like that I can play in training mode and have the opponent on block, and I can just be there for like an hour, just trying to do corner pressure and mix it up and do all sorts of different things. It just
sounds like me playing Honda.
That game just and I can imagine because. Screw Honda. Although I did test some stuff. I did test some interesting things. I came up with some interesting tech.
Okay, we'll do it.
Honda.
We'll run it.
So, Uniclair. I mean, I may have to go back to trying to find a way to talk about Uniclair every week
absolutely.
again.
Go for it.
Because it was it was just great to play it again.
That's cool.
And I have it on the Switch. So I'm practicing in bed, on the Switch, just trying out some combos and things. So.
I've played a lot of Mortal Kombat this weekend on the Switch while I was at my family's place in North Carolina. Yeah. I didn't have a lot of time to do that. I shouldn't say a lot. But when I had free time and when nothing else was going on, I was playing Mortal Kombat.
So good. So good. Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, okay. Anything else to say about Granblue?
Well, it's out. A lot of seems to be a lot of excitement for it right now.
Yeah, it does.
This weekend, Xseed is doing a launch event where they're just going to have a small mini tournament. I think it's like a 64-man tournament or a 32-man. They're capping it at a certain amount.
Okay.
There's going to be a special exhibition of voice actors versus pros.
Okay.
And then they're going to stream like the top 8. And I will be there doing commentary for that.
Cool.
So I will be helping out with the Xseed event this weekend.
That's awesome, man.
For
Congrats.
some Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Yeah, and again, I've been enjoying the game a lot. Like I said, a lot of it feels very... I mean, right now, I think the biggest concern for the game will be, how people react to the balance. Because, I've talked about the game a lot. You don't have to worry as much about frame data, plus frames, minus frames. That's not exactly true because Gran is plus on everything. And you just have to watch out, and this guy can just boot you in the face, and then you lose like 60% of your life. And
the boot, I've seen it.
It's funny because everyone was talking about Fairy early, but now Gran seems to be the problem.
Gotcha.
And I'm worried that part of me is worried that maybe part of the balancing initially had to be lore based. Because Catalina and Gran are the 2 main characters of the game, and they're both super good. Luane is like the Dan of the story, and he's not particularly good. So I don't know. We'll see.
You think it's like when Ed Boon definitely mandated that in Injustice 1 Superman be the best character in the game?
I don't know, because I mean, like, I guess a 2-frame full screen super is kind of good. Maybe.
Overhead also.
Wasn't it safe on block too or something?
Probably.
Silly? Yeah.
I don't know. If there's anybody working for NRS in this chat room,
the Grand Lords of NRS, we love them to death. We will not be skimming any profits off of NRS at all. Yeah. But didn't they try to explain it in the story? Like, didn't they take some elixir so that they were all invincible, and like Joker got shot up and he was like, what?
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Joker got some, he had superpowers too.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else about Grand Blue?
Enjoy it right now and have fun with it unless you're in Europe.
Good luck everybody else. All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking a little bit about
that game where One Punch Man punches people once and they die. Have you seen that?
I have seen that. Actually,
it's hilarious.
But I'm trying to think. What was the word?
Did you see the footage where the Spider Boy runs away from him for a minute?
Yeah, he can't.
And he
hit
loses
him at
anyway.
All. Yeah.
That was so great.
Oh, man. Okay, we'll be right back. Let me know if the volume of the music is too loud or if it's too soft or anything like that. But if you do enjoy this is the character select screen from Under Night in Birth remix. Under Night in Birth, and it's a remix made by Okito Loves Music. You can see his information at the top of the screen there, and he gave me official permission to do this, to use his music. So it's nice. It's chill. It's so chill.
That's how Superman and Flash should be. They should be the best.
I mean, Flash is technically... He's one of those characters that was like... He should be super broken, except he's like the biggest idiot on the planet. He's not actually the biggest idiot, but there's no way he can't beat everybody.
Yeah.
How do you lose to Captain Cold when you're the Flash? He's a dude with an ice gun.
I don't know.
How do you lose to Captain Cold? Before he pulls the trigger, you should be holding the gun already. Every time I watch the Flash show on TV, I'd never understood it. How does he not just destroy everything? He's clearly broken.
I've always thought that, although all of the writing of it is not often the case, when characters in comic books, etc., have super speed, I feel like that actually should be the most OP thing.
Yeah.
Because they are acting, even if the opponent has like the zaniest power in the universe, if they can't think to use their power in time, then they've lost.
Right.
Right? So I don't know, that's what I've always thought. Like that archetype should actually be the best. If you're like Superman or whatever, and you're also like mega strong, okay. But like if you're somebody else who just can't think as fast, you should die. You should lose.
I mean, I always just wonder because like I don't know. I think they even said for like Quicksilver that he supposedly gets tired if he uses his power too much or something, and that's the weakness. But then in the X-Men movies, like he's just like stupidly broken there too.
Super broken.
Like, oh, the mansion's about to blow up. Let me save everybody in the mansion, and in a way that physics make no sense absolutely at all whatsoever. Everybody would be dead.
Right.
Because they were hurled so fast, but
Thanks, Mr. Friday. We're just about to talk about coronavirus.
There was actually a situation in one of the comics where I believe, like, the Flash, like a nuclear bomb was about to go off in a city, and he actually ran and saved everybody in the city by running to the city and running back out, carrying them to a distance that was safe from the nuclear blast.
What an idiot.
And they said, and someone did the calculations of how fast he had to go, depending on how many people, and he was, like, traveling, like, way more often than the speed of light.
Of course.
Like, he was just going super fast.
He couldn't have just taken the nuke?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, you could do one trip or you could do 10 million. Like, what are you doing?
Maybe he didn't know where it was.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
All right.
there you go.
I don't know the context. Anyway, let's come back.
Okay. Oh, man.
Welcome back to the program as we move on to the next topic here. So we put this in 5-5 matchup just because we didn't do a polling thing on account of, like, I wasn't here and
Right.
et
We
cetera.
weren't even
didn't
sure
think
we were going to do a show.
Yeah, so we didn't want to take questions without thinking that we're going to do this, but we'll get back to that next week. So we put that here. The coronavirus is causing havoc in a lot of places. Mm-hmm. It's not a joke. It's many cases in many countries in the world already. The fatality rate, from what I've heard, seems to be about 2%, which is quite high for a transmissible virus like this. Not as high as some things, but high, especially in the context of how easily it is communicated. Mm-hmm. Right.
Although apparently it can't be really communicated airborne.
Right. So my understanding is that it's not airborne, but that it can survive for quite a while on surfaces. Right. And so that's why one of the major recommendations is that you wash your hands.
It's higher than 3.7 now.
Oh, is that so? Is it high? Oh, wow.
True. Oh,
yikes.
Man. Okay.
Part of why it's hard to know exactly is that some countries are just being super dinguses about it. Like, China hid the fact that it was going on for a while. Ultimately, obviously, had to say it was going on, quarantine people and stuff. Our government's being completely stupid about it. My dad's a doctor, okay? He works in a hospital. And we were just talking about this yesterday. They get people in a couple times a month with a coronavirus. The coronavirus is just a category of viruses. It's been around forever.
Right. This one is specifically
this is a new
COVID-19.
One. So it's the novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19. So they get people in a couple of times a month who have coronavirus, and they help treat it, and it's not considered a big deal. Well, they have a couple people in there right now who have the coronavirus.
The COVID-19?
No, they don't know. That's the issue, is that they don't know. Because even in this hospital, in honestly a fairly affluent part of Southern California, they don't have access to that. They don't have the test. And they'd like to get the test, and they want to know, and they can't get it. And so they're just treating these people who have coronavirus in their hospital as if they had the serious one, because they're just trying to be as cautious as possible. So they've, they're having people go in and take care of them who are fully suited, and they're taking, they're doing all the things that they can.
Of course.
Even there, they just don't know if it's actually the bad one or not. It's just, we're treating this awfully.
And the worst thing about it, too, is like you see in other countries, I think I saw something in like South Korea was posted, they have these things like, here, come get tested for the coronavirus.
Right. Korea's doing it well.
And in the U.S., I heard someone went in to get a coronavirus test and it cost them $3,000.
Right.
So if you want to get a coronavirus test...
We're doing it very badly. Anyway, that's part of why it's hard to get actual stats on how many people have had it, how many tests have there been, what's the fatality rate. It's just hard to know, especially as somebody in the public and not somebody who's...
It's cheaper to fly to Korea and get the test over there.
Oh my God, that's... Yeah, okay.
That's what a lot of people, they were showing round trip ticket, $800, go fly there, get the test, and fly back.
Okay, well, anyway.
Go on the plane.
Right, exactly.
In a crowded airplane to go see if you can test yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have anything positive to say about how our country in particular is handling it. But
and of course, I'm sitting here touching my face all over the day.
I do it too. So when my wife and I were traveling over the past week, we did wear the masks, and not really because we're worried about airborne transmission, but because I too touch my face all the time, and I knew that unless I was wearing a thing to stop me from doing that, that I was gonna do this constantly. Because I do. You can watch me. I'm sure I'll forget about it in a minute.
I
and
do
I'll
it
go back
all
to doing
day.
this.
I just sit there and chew my nails all the time,
Yeah.
so it's even worse.
Yeah.
And if I wore a mask, I might get beat up. So
Right. My wife and I got good masks a while ago when there were fires in LA
Okay.
as an anti-fire tool. So they're like N95s or whatever. And they're the good stuff. Again, I'm not really worried about the airborne transmission. I just don't want to touch my face. Anyway, because of fears of the coronavirus and the fact that it really is in outbreak stages, especially in some other countries, there have been cancellations of events. And that is something that started over the weekend, started last week, and continues. So events including Tokyo Tekken Masters, Taipei Majors, Brussels Challenge, NorCal Regionals, April Annihilation, canceled.
Now, some of these events are still happening.
I'm sorry, okay.
So
I should phrase
Brussels
that. You're right.
Channel and Taipei Majors definitely just are canceled.
Yeah.
They're done at
Right.
this point. April Annihilation, NorCal Regionals are still happening.
Correct.
It's just that the Capcom Pro Tour said we're not awarding points because we don't want to encourage people to travel there
Right.
in case it is unhealthy. So those events will still be taking place. It's just that they're not going to be part of a lot of pro tours anymore.
That's a really good point to make, yeah. Yeah, other stuff's been canceled as well, right? Of course, this is not just fighting games. IEM in Poland,
yeah.
that was not canceled, but they didn't let anybody in. It was only the players and the show people.
Right. They didn't have the audience.
Yeah, and they have a big stadium there, which could have been full of people, but they didn't let that happen. GDC canceled. There's talks that maybe E3 will be canceled, although their statement on that was that they're keeping an eye on things. And we'll see how it goes.
I mean, same thing happened with Evo. Mr. Wizard had an official tweet where he said Evo is planning to continue, but with a heavy implication that they're going to continue monitoring everything.
Of course, yeah. And there's just really no way to know what's going to happen in the future.
I mean, some people are saying that Korean League of Legends League is suspended.
I thought that was that. Isn't that they're doing it online? I thought that they weren't canceling it entirely. Maybe that's old news at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe they did just cancel it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy right now. So I mean, the thing about it is though, you can't even be mad about it.
No. Can't be mad about it, of course. Yeah, I mean, we're all just trying to be safe and make it so that not just the sort of regular safety, but you don't want to have additional liability from a business perspective, right? You don't want to. What if your event is why there's an outbreak in Brussels afterward? Everybody came there for Brussels Challenge. I mean, obviously not, but maybe that happens, and then now there's an outbreak, and you tournament organizers, it's all your fault. You don't want that liability. I totally get it. So
That's right. I think I did hear something, and shout-outs to the follow there, but I do remember hearing that they might be postponing the SNK World Championships as well. So
yes, no, they are, and they did postpone that.
Okay,
So I
okay.
forgot to put it in the list. You're right.
Okay. But obviously, the Mortal Kombat event, nothing's changing there, right?
Nope. Still leaving on Friday. It'll still be Saturday and Sunday.
Are they gonna allow audiences there?
I don't think there's any change on that as far as I know.
Okay. All right. Oh God, King 9999! You don't even know. Me and my friends were all talking about that so far already.
Yeah, I mean, it's
2020 has been not off to a good start. Here.
well, that's going to be more and more the case.
Yeah. It's not gonna get any better.
No, it won't get any better. So, all right. Neither of us can possibly be upset about these cancellations and postponements, but what do you think about it overall? I mean, is this maybe an overreaction, or...
I mean, look, I remember when SARS was around, that was terrifying.
It had a higher kill rate.
Yeah, it had a higher kill rate. I think it was also more easily.
It was less easily transmitted.
Oh, was it less easily transmitted? Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I thought that was airborne possible, but maybe
I don't
not.
remember now, but it was less.
Yeah. Okay. But I remember that was very terrifying at that time. Everybody was scared to go anywhere. But the thing about it, there was no social media back there, and social media has kind of made it easy for it to spiral to a point where it's out of control. But again, same kind of response. I mean, is it out of control to want to cancel these events? Are we overreacting? I don't think we are. you gotta respect that. You know, if you do run an event and 10 people get infected from the event, hell, if 100 people get affected from that event, then how do you even just be like, well, it was worth the risk? You know,
to play video games.
Yeah, it's not there, and obviously
Of course.
it's a terrifying thing for me because this is where my career is right now.
Yeah, here's the sort of, since we both think it's reasonable.
Yeah.
What are the outcomes of this? What are the implications for this as sort of a business of people who are trying to make their money on it?
I mean, honestly, for me personally, if CPT starts canceling a lot of these events, that's it. I'm done. I can't survive. I literally cannot survive. In fact, like I said, I'm already getting to get my fair share tomorrow once I do my taxes. That may just put the kibosh on me just straight up right away. So, you know, if I can't do any events anymore, then at that point in time, I'm done. And I know a lot of people have kind of expressed very similar situations. Yeah. And, you know, it's rough. But again, it's not like I'm going to be, man, like, you stupid coronavirus.
Of course, yeah.
You ruined my life, you know, when like 2% of, 3.7% of 100,000 people are dying from this disease. I can't be mad about it. You know, that's what I mean. I can be frustrated. I can be really sad that it had to go this way, but
it's just a circumstance, nothing intentional.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, it's a similar situation for me. Even though law is my primary income and not commentary, commentary is still a significant chunk, and so if that's gone, then that would definitely be a big blow. But on top of that, a lot of my law practice is related to
esports. Yeah.
And if it's the case that my clients can no longer travel to do broadcasting for events, or if they can no longer travel to win tournaments, or if their teams can't travel, if their teams go under, or if the tournaments that they run don't happen, or if their tournaments that they run end up not being attended by anybody and so lose tremendous amounts of money, that all means that I don't have money anymore, right? So it's very scary for me.
Yeah,
it is, honestly.
The whole thing. So it's time for Ultra Chen to go into full gear. We're gonna start our own. What are we gonna start here?
Oh, all sorts of stuff.
Let's sell some silver pills.
Silver pills
as a means to cure yourself of the coronavirus. Have you seen that? There was actually.
I know people have talked about that in the past. Yeah. I don't know specifically what you're talking about, but I've seen hucksters. So anyway, that is definitely a concern for me, and that's not just an esports concern. It's a concern if your business is related to anything having to do with international stuff, and not unlikely it will be something that even people whose businesses aren't international will have to deal with. If your business is just related to the fact that people go outside, which is everybody,
just everybody.
Then you may be in trouble.
Maybe we'll have to start doing a bunch of online tournaments, you know. Maybe that will just have to be a thing. We'll have to commentate from afar. You know, we'll have to do remote commentary where they just give us a live feed.
We're all shut-ins at some future point, right? I read that at one point China had 10% of all humans under quarantine, which is pretty wild, to be honest.
Although, did you see the maps of how the pollution has changed since then?
I did.
You know, like the pollution is practically completely disappeared because no one's driving and traveling anywhere.
Right, yeah. There's no doubt about it. Once we're wiped out as a species, Earth may recover. But I'm not sure that's what we want to happen.
Hashtag Thanos did nothing wrong. Hashtag Thanos was right.
Anyway, it is a big concern, and I think that it's a good idea to cancel things or postpone things. And I think it's a good idea for events to at least monitor the situation and be open to doing the same in the future. But it is a big deal. Look, I mean...
one of the
people have already lost a lot of money. The people who run Brussels Challenge have spent quite a few years developing that tournament. This was going to be the biggest one. It was part of the CPT. People had already bought who knows how much money worth of tickets to be there and hotel rooms, and that's a lot of money lost.
Yeah.
And the event organizers themselves doubtless lost money in the cancellation.
What does the hotel do at that point? They're going to get a mass cancellations.
Yeah.
Should they be assholes and be like, well, you're only getting part of that back, or
Depends on what they.
There's an absolute logical reason for
Yeah.
it, you know, and
It just
what are you
depends on
gonna
what
do?
the contract was. I'll tell you one thing that several of my clients have approached me about is the idea of a force majeure clause, and that is a clause that says that if something goes wrong, that's like an act of God or a disease or an earthquake or
Yeah, natural disaster. or
natural
something.
disaster,
Yeah.
riots,
Godzilla.
yeah. If that stuff happens, then the contract can be canceled, and neither party owes the other one because it just couldn't have worked out anyway. So clients have come to me and said, like, "Hey, does this disease qualify as a force majeure situation?" And I'll tell you, I haven't written any contracts that have had disease as part of that. Nor have I ever seen somebody do that in a force majeure clause. I'll do that from now on, and I feel like every other lawyer will. But that's not something that was like in anybody's brain
Right.
to do. So it turns out, this is a true story. It turns out that the contractual clause that I inserted into some of my clients' force majeure clauses that says that the contracts may be canceled in the event of a zombie apocalypse may actually be the most appropriate.
Oh my! You were prepared. You were prepared.
I actually put that in clients' contracts. And yeah, it's the only thing that references a disease in any way. So
That
you're welcome, everybody.
that'd be one of those gifts, like. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. Maybe the coronavirus really is the beginning of The Walking Dead. You know, at this point.
Well, I mean, honestly,
Zombieland.
as climate change gets worse, one of the expectations is that disease will become worse and more rampant. So I don't know if this is directly related to that, but that is something that many experts say is likely to happen.
Okay.
So heads up. Heads up.
Are you serious, Shay? So someone in the chat says they got let go yesterday as part of a corona laid off their company. Is that true?
Yeah, really, Shayon?
That sucks.
Yikes, dude.
Ugh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I mean, this is affecting everything. I mean, I just got a new pair of glasses.
Yeah.
I tried to get these before I got to do my driver's license because
that's
I
right.
need to do the vision test, and I couldn't get these because, you know, the glasses were made in China. You know, this stuff is, I mean, that's just a minor example, but this is affecting everyone, everywhere, in every, you know, format possible. It's like the last places that you think you're going to get affected, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to say how it'll all turn out, but
I mean, honestly, even if Curry House was like, we closed everything because of the coronavirus, that at least would have made everyone feel a little bit more like it made sense. Oh, God.
I heard that they just got bought out by some predatory
Oh,
ownership.
they did, and if you notice, I'm sorry, totally changing topics here, but, you know, we went there recently, and it wasn't even the same. You didn't even sit down and order from a waitress. You ordered at a counter. It was, like, all, like,
Weird.
cheesier and everything, and it just didn't work, and then they just killed the whole thing so much to the point that the employees walked in and was like, you lost your job today.
Right.
They had no idea.
That sucks, I heard, yeah. By the way, Shay says that they work for a travel agency and traveling is down 80%.
Oh.
Ugh, that's really tough. Yeah, I hope that you get through that. That's pretty wild.
Oh. Dang. That's crazy. Yeah, travel agency is going to get
Good
completely
luck in the future.
decimated by this. Going to
Yeah.
be completely decimated by this. Well, you know what? Just jump into, since you're here on the show, you just craft your way into esports and make those big bucks like everybody in esports is making, right? You know, those esports big bucks.
I'm very curious to see what my flight will look like on Friday when I fly to Chicago for Final Combat. Yeah, will anybody be on that flight? I don't know.
And it's I saw someone say something. Oh, that's right. Some people are talking about canceling the Olympics. Have you seen the meme that's spreading in Japan? Is that there's a scene in Akira, because Akira takes place in 2019 and the Olympics are coming to Tokyo the next year.
Right.
And so there's one scene where there's a sign with the Olympics and graffiti on the fence, and one of the graffiti says, "Just cancel it." And so there's actually people in Japan spreading that image, like, just cancel it. It's actually really interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe you can jump to first class seat this way.
They would If I were the only person on the plane, they wouldn't let me just jump in. Well, maybe because I have the platinum,
Right,
I guess.
yeah.
But
I was about to say, yeah, actually, you probably would.
maybe because I have platinum, but if you didn't have anything like that and you were just some schmo on a plane, they wouldn't let you get in first class even still. Come on.
Maybe.
Come on. It wouldn't be the first time Olympics in Japan are canceled? Really?
Canceled before?
I thought the last time Olympics were canceled was back in the World Wars. Right? Wasn't it quite a long time ago? I'm no expert in the Olympics, I can tell you that. Anyway.
Yeah, so, I mean, at
It
this
is
rate
a
right
bad
now,
spot.
you can't be mad that these events are being canceled. And it's interesting, too, because, like I said, some of these events are still going. NCR is still going. I'm still trying to see if I can do commentary work there. So I'm going to still travel over there. But, yeah, it's a scary situation because it's interesting because, you know, as a freelancer in the U.S., and, you know, sorry if I go on this healthcare stuff again, like, it's such a risk to your health to go out there, you know, and then if anything happens, I'm done. But if I don't go, I'm done.
Correct.
And I can't afford healthcare without going, you know, it's like, I mean, I like to wash my hands a lot. Like when my hands feel dirty, I'll just get up and go wash my hands. But my hands definitely feel more dirty these days than they have before. So.
I've been very conscientious about it as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the panic situation, I mean, it's, you know, you want to joke about panicking, but, I mean, like I said, I mean, obviously it's an interesting thing, right? Because, you know, even with the rate that it's spreading and the mortality rate to it, you know, people are more scared of going out there and catching this virus, and then they're, like, excited about trying to win the lottery. You know, odds may be somewhere similar.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, one of them, if you don't win the lottery, everything is normal. The other one, if if you do win the lottery, you die. So,
Well,
you know.
I'm not personally afraid of getting the disease. I don't have any expectation of that. That's not the concern for me. The concern for me is that the fears of other people will cause cancellations, and that I don't think their fears are unjustified.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not personally concerned. I know other people are concerned. If they want to cancel stuff because of that, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too here, well, let's see. So Olympics have been canceled 5 times in the past. In 1916, the Summer Olympics scheduled for Berlin, Germany were canceled. Then, thanks to World War II, the 1940 Winter and Summer Olympics were canceled.
Okay. And 44.
44, okay, makes sense.
And then somebody was saying in 96 they were canceled. Yeah, the Atlanta bombings, right?
Oh.
Was there a cancellation because of that? No, I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the one part that's kind of weird right now is the weird the run on, you know, hand sanitizers and supplies and paper towels and water and things like that at supermarkets. I think that might be a little bit of an overreaction, but
my doctor dad and nurse mom yesterday went to Costco and picked up a ton of supplies. Now, this is something they've been meaning to do for a while because they had earthquake supplies and it's just all expired and they didn't realize that until
okay.
So they've meant to do it, but then they were like, well, okay, like I guess this is as good a time. We're thinking about it, so we'll do it. We'll do it now. So they did it. And they said when they went, Costco was sold out of a lot of stuff already. If you don't know what Costco is, maybe you don't live in the US, it's a giant mega store.
And you have to buy everything
huge.
In chunks.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of like a place where you can get everything for cheap, but the caveat is 1, you have to pay for a membership.
Right.
And 2, you have to buy things in bulk. So you can't buy a box of Lucky Charms. You got to buy like 3 boxes of Lucky Charms. Right? If you want to buy, you know, chapstick, you got to buy like 12 chapstick kind of thing.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, you can buy some stuff like a TV there for pretty cheap prices, but again, it all takes a membership.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good place. It's just that they've never seen it sold out of as many things as it was, like sort of long-term stuff. Mm-hmm. So they picked up like Gatorades and whatever, I know. But yeah, people are really out there buying a lot of stuff in a panic. Mm-hmm. It's true.
Is there a chance you'll be stuck at home and can't leave for 10 to 14 days?
Well, that's definitely not going to be the case for them. If there's an outbreak, my parents are going to be in the hospital. they're gonna be
working.
there.
They're gonna be working.
So that's not their particular case, but that may be the case for some people.
Well, I'll come and visit your home, your parents' home, because I definitely don't have enough water and stuff here. Yeah, and that's actually probably a good thing to mention too, is that the normal face masks don't work. They don't prevent you from getting the virus. They prevent you from infecting other people with your cold, maybe, but they don't actually prevent a lot of that kind of stuff, unless it's a specially rated mask.
Yeah.
But then when you wear those masks, it actually makes it harder to breathe.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely be able to tell it's kind of uncomfortable.
So that's the kind of mask that we wore on the plane.
Right.
Because, again, those were masks that we got for fires here in LA here. And, yeah, I mean, no. Was it nice to sit on a plane for 4 hours wearing that? Nope.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I mean,
Yeah, but, I mean, bringing it all back to everything, you can't be mad if they're canceling the events. I can't be mad, even though it could completely derail my whole esports attempt at trying to live, which kind of sucks because I feel like I've been doing a really good job with content and streaming and everything like that. I've gotten a lot of subs and everything.
Totally,
and it's
dude.
been working out
You've been
great.
doing a lot.
Yeah, but too little too late, I guess.
Well, maybe not. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Hopefully things will be okay.
Okay.
All right. Again, about the masks, I wore the mask not because I was concerned it was an airborne virus. Apparently it's not. It's more that I touch my face constantly, and if I have a mask on, then I can't do that.
If I don't get sick, or if my cats don't get sick, or like a meteor doesn't crash into my home, please do not start a GoFundMe for me. Do not do that. It's for emergencies.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about some more event
What
results.
happened?
Some stuff that's
Some stuff happened this weekend. For example, Kemonomichi, number 3.
Yes, that took place this weekend. They were supposed to be an English stream.
Mm-hmm.
There was not, so I turned into the official English stream. And
Yeah,
I
dude.
had no idea because I was still trying to do the beginner stream style, but it worked out anyways. And the middle exhibition, Battle Garega,
Yeah.
I brought in 2 guys from the shmup community.
Really?
Yeah, I got in a player named Frenetic, and and then Soft Drink. They're from SDG Weekly, and they came here, and I gotta tell you, man, like,
were they here in person?
yeah, they were here in person.
Dang,
they
dude.
broke down in SoCal. They just came here to do the Battle Garega because they were so excited for it.
So cool.
And I'll tell you, Soft Drink's knowledge of that game, I mean, he knew everything that she was going to do. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what you should, this is how the run, and he could explain exactly why this is going to happen.
That's so
Dude,
cool.
it was like, I was just sitting there like, this is the person who created that game, I asked, I was like, did he do all this on purpose? And he kind of did. And like the level of detail that game went into for being 24 years old, and I was like, this is so ahead of their time, because it's just like the order in which you destroy these things makes it drop different things. There's medals you collect, but you have to combo the medals. If you were to drop one, then the next medal goes back down to the first starting score, and as you play, there's different ways that the game gets harder depending on how you're playing and how it gets worse. But the way that it measures it and everything, and all of this stuff was hidden until the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One releases that just came out recently. They actually finally just put all that information on the screen so you can see it.
Okay.
But it was crazy, and honestly, for me, that became the best segment because the guys had so much knowledge on it, and I was just it was so fascinating. It was super cool.
Okay, I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah, it's on our. You have to go watch it. You have to go watch it.
Cool.
It was amazing.
Cool.
It was amazing. Yeah. But that
wasn't the only thing that happened?
Battle Garega is the name of the game. It's a shmup. And again, for me, I was just super happy about it because, like with the Tetris community or the puzzle game community, and, the shmups they're just sitting here trying to make their games a thing, but it's tough because it's not a competitive thing, so they can't really tag along on the esports thing, but just at GDQ they had an amazing shooter run as well. That
I
was
watched
super.
that.
Oh, you saw that?
I saw that. That was
I did not get a
sick.
chance to see that.
Yeah.
And so the community feels like between that and Kimono Michi and Daigo saying, "Hey, let's do this with Battle Gorega," like they feel really happy about it and everything.
Cool.
And it's. I'd like to see that community succeed because
Of course.
I just love video games, so I would love to see that happen.
Of course. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that wasn't the only thing that happened.
Yes.
There were 2 matches. I don't know the order of these, but there was...
Kotaka Shoten came first. Kotaka Shoten versus Kurahashi came first.
Okay, so in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, there was a match between Kotaka Shoten Guile and Kurahashi Ryu.
Yes. So Kotaka Shoten is new. He's
Yeah.
only been playing the game for like 10 years.
Right.
Whereas Kurahashi has been playing the game for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But Kotaka Shoten has like almost dedicated himself to this game,
Yeah.
you know, and he's already won 2 exhibitions at Kimono Michi 1 and 2.
Okay.
He's basically undefeated so far, so coming in here, even Kurahashi was like, I'm not sure I could beat him.
Wow.
I personally think the matchup is 5-5.
Sure.
Some people are saying that it might be in Ryu's advantage just
Oh,
because
really?
of the super and the Tatsu and stuff. I don't know. I think it might be one of the most 5-5 matchups in fighting games history.
That's kind of what I've
Yeah,
always thought, but okay.
But I've had a chance to play Kotaka Shoten 2
Oh,
years
really?
ago at Hey Arcade. He just showed up, and you know I was talking with Matsun and another guy there who's been there every year that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when Kotaka Shoten showed up, I was like, "Oh, can you tell him I'm a big fan and like he's awesome and all this stuff?" And so he like told him. Kotaka Shoten just looked at me like, "What?" You know, because he's literally there just after work, and
Yeah.
he's just killing time.
Right.
It had nothing to do with it. He doesn't
Yeah.
see himself as anything crazy.
Of course.
But, I mean, dude, this guy, I mean, he's a machine. He is literally a machine. I basically, I played him like maybe 3 or 4 times with Cammy.
Yeah.
I maybe hit him like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
You know, it's that bad. Or at least I should say I've only clean hit him because he knew the exact timing to trade with Cammy's jumping medium punch. So there was nothing I could do. And it was brutal. Like, I have never fought someone that precise before.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I have, obviously, but, you know, he was at that level
Gotcha.
of just... This is like I can't do anything, and you watch this match, and Kurahashi couldn't do anything. It was amazing how badly Kotaka Shoten blew him up.
Wow.
It was uncanny,
Yeah.
and the movement that he had. And it was so cool too because I'd always wanted to talk about this matchup in particular.
Yeah.
And so on First Attack, I finally did that.
Okay.
Because I'm just done talking about footsies, and my current subject was ranges and spacing. I was like, what a perfect match to talk about this. You know, advantage, disadvantage, disadvantage. You know, so I talked about all this stuff, and then you watch the match, and it all just kind of happened in real time. And Kotaka Shoten's movement with the kicks, especially the kicks, he just was like mixing between whether he was kicking forward or kicking backwards. He was never at the same distance twice, and and he just kept mixing it. I felt bad for Kurahashi.
Wow.
I actually felt bad for him because he actually
One of the all-time great
yeah
Super Turbo players.
And like some people in the chat were like, guys, keep in mind. This guy blows up everybody.
Right.
He blows up everybody. And
Right.
he looked like he just had no options.
Wow.
He had like no
okay.
recourse, and it was wild. It was crazy.
Sick. I'm definitely gonna watch this as
Yeah.
well. Oh, I have to watch all of these. But
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have them all there, and I do have all the First Attack stuff. I apologize. This week I'm gonna have to go without First Attack because I'm doing my taxes tomorrow. So I'm gonna be doing my First Attaxes tomorrow. That just came to my head. So
boy.
sorry. But yeah, so Kotaka Shoten is undefeated at Kimono Michi so far,
Wow.
3-0.
He won 15-4.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's a blow up. Yeah.
That's bad. I mean, it was kind of I mean, you watch it and those 4, like he got 4, but it didn't feel like it. You know, that was more like Super Turbo Factor, which I timed my Super with Ryu at the right time. You know,
Big
kind of
damage.
thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So there you
Okay,
go.
and then in Street Fighter V, it was Punk's Poison versus Infectious Zeku.
Yeah, no character changes allowed.
Right.
Which was a shame
Okay.
because Punk's Poison did not look very strong.
I heard it got busted.
Yeah, it was not very good. And the funny thing is, I was still trying to do the beginner stream for it, And I actually was kind of happy about this because, like, I wanted to sit here and talk about how Infectious was beating Punk.
Okay.
And all I could say was, he's just hitting every right button at every right time. He's just making the right read every time. Now, obviously, there's some situations where you could tell Punk was a little out of sorts with his character. He didn't have that Karen familiarity with it. But really, it was just like Infectious, like, here, walk up, roundhouse, crush counter. He just happened to hit and everything. And then after the match was over, I think it was Hameko and Daigo were talking about it, and they were like, we don't know what he did. Like, he was like, it was the weirdest play that we've ever seen, and it worked. Like, even they said that. That it really, there was nothing to grasp outside of the fact that he just hit all the right buttons at the right time. And it really just looked like that. And again, it was a wash.
So, was it a Poison problem or a Punk problem?
I don't think it... Okay, I will definitely say part of it was a Poison problem. Not was a Punk problem because he didn't know Poison as well as he knew other characters. But really, honestly, I think it was almost entirely just Infectious just outplayed him. I really just feel like Infectious just straight up outplayed him in that match. Yeah, it was crazy. It was wild.
Any idea why Punk went with Poison?
I heard he's been playing him a little on stream. My guess was that, you know, he lost the item, he wants to learn the character, and so to put himself in this kind of situation will help him learn the character a little stronger. Even after he lost, he was like, you know, I came in with my strategy, and I don't know why I didn't do a lot of it. And I kind of... And to be fair, he said he felt like he was figuring it out towards the end. And even when I was doing commentary, I was like, okay, I think he's getting the hang of this a little bit more. It's just too little too late. And Infectious just kept clutching out all the matches.
He won the first one, Punk did, and then Infectious won 8 in a row. And then Punk won one, and then Infectious won one, and then Punk won one. So he was definitely getting there.
He was figuring it out.
But then Infectious won the last one, and that was the seal.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was really interesting because, I mean, I know Poison has a lot more juice than what we were seeing out of Punk. You know,
she's so
like,
strong.
I saw Punk anti-air with crouching medium punch. He was playing V-Skill 2, but he never canceled into the roll for kind of like the left-right mix-up.
Yeah.
When he did the heart raid and was +2 in that situation, I think Infectious jumped out of it like almost every time, and Punk never stopped him from it. He was always going for throw or like a low or just something that was too slow. One time he did EX heart raid into nothing because I think he was scared of EX uppercut from Infectious. I don't know. There's something about it that Infectious I felt like was just in his head.
Okay.
Yeah, I really felt like it was just in his head. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
How was the event otherwise? How did it seem?
It seemed really cool. I mean, I like I said, I felt like the production was really well. It's just, I love the fact that Daigo keeps doing this. I think the fact that he brought the shmup community in there was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that player, T3 Kamui, has been playing the game for about as long as it's been out. So she's been playing it for like 24 years. So, basically, and that was the nice thing is because I had those experts on there and because I am so interested in history and stuff, I was able to be like, is T3 Kamui like just like the legend? You know, how do people like, is she revered? And they're like, oh yeah, you know, and we were able to get I was able to get a lot of this information out of them and everything. It's interesting. Someone linked this thread here from Pochoclo about that matchup.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of things that Infectious use in the Poison matchup versus Punk. I'll try to identify them.
Thanks, Georgia Pacific.
And talk about his game plan. So he has a cool little thread over here talking about it. So I don't know if you want me to read it on the stream.
Yeah, go for it. How long is it? Oh, it's very long. Okay.
It's not super long, but I can put it on the screen so at least people can read along with me, which makes it a little bit easier, right? So he says here, there's a lot of things that Infectious use. Things like back jump a lot in the corner, like saying, I'm going to escape, using wall jump, forcing Punk to step back. That definitely happened a lot. Punishing Punk's attempts of punish wall jump with HP raid. His corner forward jumps were pretty accurate because he knows when Punk uses 5H. He got a lot of jump-ins on Poison when she just hit long buttons. He got a lot of jump-in combos. He also uses a lot Young Zeku walk speed to go in and out of Poison's range. When he uses Old Zeku, when he had VT2, change into Isaac Slide back to old and having corner carry. Punk was in the corner. Yeah, he did that a lot. He used V trigger 2 to side switch all the time because you have that option that when you hit him, you could poof to the other side and combos. If he ever got in the corner, you would hit him once, go into the V trigger and switch the side. It was really interesting. So
weird.
And again, don't thank me for bringing those commentators to the game. Like one of them was that Auric knew him.
Okay.
And was like, hey, this guy should come and help you. The other guy, apparently, he was like, should I hit him up? Like, it's James Chen. Can I just hit him up and talk to him? And he said he waffled on it for a long time
that's very
until
cute.
he finally sent me a message. And immediately afterwards, and this was separate, like Dacid Bro sent me something. He's like, I know this guy. He's
funky.
really cool. Like, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And I just saw that, and I was like, well, this other dude's coming on. He's like, oh, yeah, I know him. He's my friend, right? And so, because they're both part of the community.
Sure.
And so I put them all in the same conversation. I was like, do you both want to come and do this? And they were like, yeah. And so they just both showed up. They reached out to me. So there you go. And it made it great. Because honestly, if I wasn't there, like, it would have been good. If it was just me, it wouldn't have been good. But yeah, this is a long thread. I'm not going to read this whole thing. It took me a lot.
Anyway, it's Pochoclo. What's his actual Twitter handle?
Pochoclo is Pochoclo23.
There you go.
POCHOCLO23.
Cool.
Pochoclo23.
If you'd like to investigate that. All right.
I mean, the thing is, I think 3 segments is fine because if those matches had gone like 13, 15 and like 9, 10, you don't want to, like, that would have been long.
Yeah.
That would have been very long. So 3 is absolutely fine.
Sounds right to me. All right. There was also a Tekken Pro Championship Japan versus Korea event.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And
this was the second one, I think, and Japan won the first one, and so I think Korea wanted the revenge, and they had all these clips of them talking trash to each other ahead of time, and like Mia was like, this time I will take it serious and everything.
Well, apparently it was supposed to have bigger teams, but there were a couple of cancellations by players due to fears of coronavirus.
Of course.
So as a result, the Japanese team had to do quals to sort of winnow down their numbers, right, to be the 10 who ended up playing. So it was 10v10. And Team Japan won it.
Again.
Which was double Noroma, Chiri Chiri, Kare, Aotake, Chikurin, Yu, Gen, and Nobi. And Team Korea was Saint, Lohai, Cherry Berry Mango, Ni, Rest, Jonding, Chanel, Mio Il, Rangchu, and Ulsan.
Okay. Do you know what the score was?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I heard at one point in time it came down to like Ulsan had to beat a bunch of people, so I think it was actually. I didn't see it. I didn't get a chance to watch it, and I didn't see what the score was, but it sounded like Japan did pretty well. So, I mean, at this point in time, I would say, maybe there's a consideration that Japan's the best, but, Pakistan wasn't there. So
Indeed.
So we still don't know.
Maybe you're right.
Next time they should add Pakistan too.
It would be very cool.
That would be super cool.
All right.
It was Ulsan versus 9 players. Yeah, okay, there you go. So I guess one person in Japan just beat up everybody then. Ow. Was there a Brazil Street Fighter 5 event that just wrapped up?
Oh, I don't know about it.
Yeah, I didn't get any information on that. Apologies about that.
That's all I had for events, to be honest.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Maybe I missed something, and I didn't watch anything this weekend because I was gone. If I missed something, then my bad.
You're watching Nephews and stuff like
I
that.
I was indeed.
Nephews, right?
Indeed.
So there you go. Which is really cool.
It was pretty cool.
It's very, very... Oh, God, I was about to say something really sad, but I'm not going to say it.
Okie doke.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's talk about other FGC news.
Sure.
Because there is some other stuff to discuss. Yes. Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 3 stuff is out.
Yes, so Season 3 has come out. It's wild.
It seems pretty interesting.
It's pretty wild right now. Now, the one thing that I have heard, I watched a little bit of the Ringe's channel. He streamed it at Wednesday Night Fights the first week there, and Super Noon was on there. And I already saw that Super Noon doesn't like the limit break. He thinks the limit break is bad because it gives you, actually, it turns out to be a 20% boost for free.
That
So-
limit break is where the last character does more damage.
Yeah, they just get 20% more damage. And so very simple combos are doing, like, into level 1s are doing, like, 60 to 70% life. You know, so...
And that doesn't run out or anything,
Nope.
right? You just have
and
it.
you don't activate it. It's just when the guy comes in, it's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, apparently. And yeah, so it's kind of like Rage, except there's no choice of should I use it for the Rage driver. It's just there automatically. Now, you know, obviously, it was almost impossible for people to come back. But then when someone did, it was amazing.
Right.
So is this going to dampen that? You know, is it going to make it so that people are just going to see the comeback and be like, whatever? You know?
Which is basically how Marvel 3 is.
Right. Well, I mean, the nice thing about Marvel 3 is that you can activate it early.
Sure.
You
Oh,
know,
of course.
there
But
is
if Virgil's coming in last and then they
Yeah.
pop V-Trigger, V-Trigger. If
Yeah,
they get-
I do that all the time
Oh,
too. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
terrible.
Yeah,
If they pop X Factor and then they make a comeback, nobody's hyped.
yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody. People will laugh.
Yeah,
they'll laugh about
Yeah.
it, and that's the way they do it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and honestly, I mean, it made me start thinking about comeback mechanics again. I talked about that a little bit on my stream. So you know, just the feeling of comeback mechanics, and a lot of games these days are trying to mask comeback mechanics by letting you activate it at any point in time, or letting you build the meter through other means. You know, like crush counters and landing V skills and things like that. But you know, V triggers are still very much a comeback mechanic. You know. X Factor's still a comeback mechanic, even though you could do it early. In fact, in Dragon Ball, pretty sure that's what sparking was supposed to be.
I think it was.
But it turned out it was better to use that to save your earlier characters and do level 1 sparking than it was to save it for the last character. So they had to add sparking plus, basically. But outside of that, it seems like a lot of people are excited about it. The game has gotten a lot crazier, but it also seems like I don't know yet. Again, this is very early on that I
Yeah,
heard
of
it. It
course.
seemed like that there was a little bit more variety, but you know how it is when a new patch comes out, everyone wants to try all the crazy stuff, and then eventually everything will funnel down to whatever the top thing
Maybe.
is, and I don't know what that maybe seems like right now. Although I've heard Kefla seems really strong when
I've
she
heard that
came
too.
out, that she's got these command dashes or something that just side switch on you all day, and even with the cross-up protection, she can mix you up pretty
Cool.
badly. So...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Horse Lord, there's a lot of different ways to change comeback mechanic. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Piccolo situation, apparently Piccolo is very not good anymore.
Yeah?
Because they screwed up the super that locks everybody down, and they
Right.
gave it to Kefla. So, like, they nerfed that one, and then Kefla got it. So someone actually put up a tweet. They were like, I figured out how to make Piccolo's thing work. And like he snaps him in, the guy comes in, he activates the super and pauses, goes to character select and picks Kefla. So, yeah.
Nice.
So unfortunately, I guess...
That's a bummer when
yeah.
that happens. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah. But otherwise, you know...
Yeah, characters have more timing options as they come in,
when you
right
snap,
after snaps.
Yeah, when you snap them, you can do like a delayed get up. You can
Right.
basically do a delayed come in, and if you're not even in the corner, the guy comes in practically at the same time as you recover
Right,
off of
okay.
it. So you really can't do much to the character. But just having the 3 different assists, and what's interesting about it is that apparently most characters' C assists fall under a category. I don't know if that's the beam assist, but most of them have a longer cooldown on them. So they
Right.
all actually have different cooldown lengths based on
makes
what
sense.
they do on the assist.
That's
which
how
is
it
interesting.
previously was. Different characters
Yeah.
had different cooldown lengths.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay. Well, anything else to say about that? Considering we're definitely not experts.
No, not at all. That's it. That's it.
Big news in Street Fighter V.
Okay.
Capcom put out a benchmark tool for PC users to help them with their settings.
Really?
They did.
That actually would be helpful for me.
Really?
Because I
Okay.
didn't know what to set it to on my computer because I had the crappy video card for a while. Now I have a decent one. So,
Big news.
Yeah, so that's good.
It's funny that it came out in Season 5. There's been a PC version for 4 years.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, there's a lot of things they didn't
Yeah, people
have
are saying that it's probably for the Intel stuff, yes. which makes sense. But
Honestly, the one thing that I really, really want to see them change is on the guard recovery actions.
what are we talking about?
Just features that add to Street Fighter V that are 5 years too late.
Oh,
I mean, honestly, the trading mode is pretty good.
It's pretty
as
good.
It is, but they need to have that. How many blocks before they do the block recovery action?
I agree with
There should
that.
just be a count on the screen the whole time, like 2, poof, poof, and then it triggers. You know.
I agree with that.
That
I
would
also
be
think
so
they should
nice.
just do what Mortal Kombat does for reversal options. Is just like let you set what the CPU does.
Oh yeah. Instead of having to record it.
Yeah, honestly.
And to let you do it a little bit longer than half a second. I really, really wish that they would let you record a little longer than half a second so you can test walk back a little bit more.
I have tried that as well. And
Yeah, you cannot test walk
Big
back.
negative.
But, yeah, anyways.
Anyways, huge news in SF5. In Samurai Shodown, Mina is out.
Yes, season 2 is started. Unfortunately, on the PlayStation Store, there's no season pass, so you have to get Mina herself.
Okay.
Although they said that was a mistake, and that they will try to make sure that if you bought Mina, that when the season pass does come out, it will be discounted for you based off of how much Mina is.
Okay,
You know,
wow.
I haven't got to do much with her. I only just tested her out briefly.
Mm-hmm.
The word on the streets is that she's seems really good.
Hmm.
Not great, obviously, not like Shizumaru kind of level, but
Okay.
she definitely seems very strong. What's interesting is she's very different than she was before. So
yeah?
in like Samurai Shodown 5 and 5 Special, if you hit heavy, slash, she just shot an arrow. So basically, she just like shot arrows everywhere, But now they turned firing arrows into a stance.
Oh.
So you have to do quarter circle forward, and then she holds the bow like
okay.
this. And if you hit light, she just fires a straight one. That's just a shot that people can duck under. Heavy is a low arrow, and then medium is a low arrow, and heavy she goes and shoots up. And once you go into the stance, you'll actually hear a charge up sound. It goes like that. And there's multiple strengths of the arrow. So even when you shoot the up one, if you shoot it at the lowest level, it goes up and then drops back down.
Okay.
Not full screen.
Okay.
Next level goes full screen.
Mm-hmm.
Next 2 levels it just goes completely off the screen, and you just don't even see the arrow come
How would you
down.
want that?
Probably just to shoot people out of the air because they travel much faster too.
Okay.
And you could probably just use it as a mix-up because if you charge up the straight arrow all the way, it's like 300 and some damage. It's like a 30 year life if she shoots you with
Really?
an arrow.
Oh, wow, okay.
It takes a while to charge there, so it'll be rare, but...
Yeah.
Also, if you charge to the full one, you can hit the kick button and she jumps instead. And if you charge it all the way and you hit kick and she jumps, you can jump lightly forward, far forward, or
Oh,
backwards.
interesting. Okay.
If she jumps if you charge it all the way when you jump, if you wait until you're on your way down in the jump to fire the arrow, she keeps going down. Whereas normally, every time you fire the arrow in the air, she bounces back.
I see.
She shoots it and bounces back. But then once you charge it all the way, she shoots there, and if it hits the guy, it puts them in forever hit stun. It's like the longest hit stun of any jump attack I've ever seen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you combo?
Yeah, it's super easy to combo off
Cool,
of
dude.
that. And the funniest thing is you can actually charge too long. Like, she just sits there and goes, eventually she just lets go because she can't hold on any longer.
That's pretty cool.
And she goes into delay. So,
Really?
So that way you can't just sit there and hold the arrow and be scary the whole entire time.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. But then they gave her some really good kick attacks as well. And, before she was all arrow-based, but now she attacks with her bow. And so some of her moves have really good range. Like, just like the standing B, she reaches really far with the bow. So, like I said earlier... Oh, and she has an uppercut. She has an uppercut
really?
with
Okay.
DB plus kicks, which
Okay.
means she can do it when she's weaponless as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
True invincibility on there. And so, yeah, a lot of people are saying that she just has a lot of good tools.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that's pretty good so far because like a lot of the characters that have been coming out feel like that. Like Rimururu came out early and was clearly not very good, and then Shizumaru came out and was clearly very good. But then characters like Kazuki, they seem strong but not overpowered. And
Right,
here we
right.
go. Wanfu seems good, not overpowered, not
Okay.
bad kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thing. So
Okay,
seems
cool.
like they're getting a good idea.
That's
of what's
good.
Going, yeah.
Glad to hear it. And then the Switch version is out.
Yes, the Switch version is out. I don't have it yet.
Okay.
Just because I just haven't. I mean, the thing about Samurai Showdown obviously is it's not a game that you're going to sit down in training mode and do a lot of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so I don't have as much of an impetus to get it on there.
That actually makes sense. Yeah.
But you know, with something like Uniclair, oh god, I'm just going to be landing that all day. Ugh. And yeah, oh god, that game was so fun. I missed that game so much. Once I started playing it again, I was like, why did I not play Unist? I was like, why did I make this terrible
You were playing
mistake?
a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, it was. I was.
Intel World Open. News. Open qualifiers.
Boy, this was a blow up on Tuesday that we weren't around for. Oof.
March 21st to May 10th, open quals, closed quals, May 16th to 17th, live quals in Poland, June 18th to 21st, and the finals, July 22nd to 24th. We'll see if any of that happens. Well, I guess you'll be able to do the online stuff at a minimum, but we'll find out about the later
Even
stuff.
in person, you'll do the online stuff.
Okay, yeah. So, some of the rules include, and I quote, all LAN events will be played exclusively on PC and use dedicated Battle Lounge online lobbies as opposed to versus mode. I heard that if you look into the PDF rules, that it doesn't mention that.
Okay. I mean, it could
But
be
the
one of those
website
things,
itself definitely mentions
I mean,
that.
a lot of people have been saying it feels a lot like it's just some sort of copy paste from you know, whatever CS:GO or whatever else is being run there, because it's just like, oh, video games are all the same, right? So
Yeah.
let's just copy and paste this over here.
But Battle Lounge and versus mode are Street Fighter terms.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
true,
Like,
it's
I don't know what
true.
that's called for the other esports, but it's probably not the same. So, I don't know. But again, the rules from what I've heard don't include that.
Yeah, but-
that's not to say I don't know which one of those two is
I mean,
right.
I'm guessing they're
If it-
doing
if it
that
is different.
because, you know, they're beta testing the tournament mode in the game and everything.
Mm.
And so I feel like they're really pushing to use that mode. And that mode probably only works online. And so that's probably why that's in the rules.
Can you imagine the dingusry if it did only work online?
That versus mode,
Yeah.
that tournament mode
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Well, who'd
So-
be surprised? You know.
I mean, that
Nobody would be
that's
surprised.
my guess. That's my guess, is that's why it's kind of written that way. So, yeah.
Dingusry. Yes. That's the
Dingusry.
noun associated with being a dingus.
Okay.
Duh.
It's like badassery for being
Uh-huh,
badass,
correct.
you know. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
The idea of playing a LAN, first of all, I think doesn't even exist in SF5. I don't think you can like hook up two machines to each other. I'm pretty sure that's not real.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I mean, I guess you
A
could
local area network for Street Fighter.
I mean, if you did that, would the machines connect to each other at all? Like,
How would you even do
would
it?
They be the only ones that they find each other if they're? Because I mean,
You
I
have
don't
an Ethernet
know.
cable that just plugs
I
into the
have
back
no
of both.
idea.
No, it's like, come on. Doesn't make any sense. I don't think that even exists. So, I don't know. Oh, SF5 arcade machines playing a LAN? Well, you could have surprised me, because what I've heard actually happens is that they always connect to the internet, and that's basically what my experience in Japanese arcades was like. That it was always internet play. That's what it felt like.
And I still remember the one time I went to go play it in the arcade at round one.
Yeah.
And they're networked with the other round ones.
Uh-huh.
Right? So I walked up to the machine and I sat down and played and I picked Lucia.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I'm just playing against the computer, having fun. A new challenger has entered the ring. Okay. Opponent's Abigail. I was like, oh, God, this match is not going to be good. I'm telling my best friend, I was like, don't expect anything because this match sucks, right?
Okay.
First screen, Abigail. Abigail! And I was like,
Oh, man.
you want to go do something else? Okay, let's go do something else. We walked away.
You laughed.
We left. Well, the first time I actually just sat there and eventually, like, I
Oh my God.
I shit you not, like, maybe after 5 minutes, it was like, connection could not be established. And then I went back to fight the computer. And then I got challenged again, and it was Abigail. So I was like, this is the same guy. He's trying to make it work again. And then we sat there, and I was like, forget it. And then we left. So, yeah.
What a machine.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, anyway, whatever to say about the rules there. Again, if they may differ in the actual rule set versus what's like publicly available, whatever. That's so stupid, obviously, first of all, for there to be any difference. But if there's a difference, I don't actually know which one should take precedence, and I hope it's not the one where you would use dedicated Battle Lounge online lobbies instead of versus mode. In addition, make sure that you haven't been doping.
That's right.
Make sure that you haven't been on the beer. You haven't been doing beer. Which is like
Doing the beer.
they don't want you to do alcohol. I don't know, dude. It's so weird. Don't do weed or whatever. And if you get busted,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. I mean, doping for Street Fighter.
Yeah,
You know, in some esports, there have been issues with people
yeah.
doing that stuff, but it's never been something in fighting games that I
Maybe
know of.
that we know of, right?
I mean,
that we
we
don't.
we basically know all the top players personally, so if they've been keeping that a secret from us, nice work. Nice work.
Oh man. It's the diazepam. Wasn't it diazepam that you had to take versus Sniper Wolf, Cone? I believe it was diazepam, I think.
What happened?
This Cone says in this Snake, take the Valium before your match with Sniper Wolf.
Oh.
But I think that was diazepam.
I never played those video games.
Yeah. Okay. You never played any of the Metal Gear games? Oh, interesting. You would actually... I feel like you would like it a lot.
Probably.
Because there's a lot of political talk in that game. As long as you just keep calling everybody in every situation.
I would.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking you would love. Because, like, the best is, like, in the first Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1, there was a girl named Natasha, Russian, that you would contact. So you'd be, like, fighting this boss, this helicopter's, like, shooting missiles at you, and then you go talk to, like, you know, Master Miller, and he's like, Snake, you have to be careful. He's going to do this, and you want to dodge and take out the helicopter. You talk to your commander. He's like, Snake, you must be careful. And you go talk to Natasha. The START Treaty was signed in this time. At the
Really?
Yeah, she's like, doesn't even care. And she's just, like, talking about history, and you're like,
Cool.
and you're like,
START Treaty.
yeah, I know, like, honestly, the opponent helicopter pilot, he's probably like, what's he doing? Wait, stop. I'm learning about the Russian history.
Sick. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
there's so much political stuff in that game. It's actually kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can skip talking to Natasha, but why would you?
Yeah,
Don't you want to learn everything about it?
I would.
Yeah, there
It's
you
definitely
go.
how I play games. It's true. Anyway, so the Intel World Open, you know, we'll see what happens with that. But
Oh, so diazepam and Valium are actually the same drug with just different names. Okay.
I see.
I mean, Cone would know. He's a chemist, so I'm going to
Oh,
trust him on
shout-outs.
that one. Yeah.
That's right.
Chemist.
I took Valium once when I fractured my ankle into 5 pieces,
Uh-huh.
and I hated it. I didn't feel any pain, but I felt like I was floating in a real way. Honestly, like, I remember lying on the couch in my home and feeling as if I was literally 5 feet off the couch.
Right, because you couldn't feel yourself.
I was
on the
awake.
couch.
I don't know. It's super strange.
I mean, I took another.
It didn't feel like I was slightly above it.
Okay.
I was like looking down,
Oh dang. Okay.
even though I wasn't really. It just I hated it.
I took
just,
Valium when I got LASIK,
Mm-hmm.
because what they want you to do is after you get the LASIK, they want you to fall asleep. So they prescribed a little bit of Valium. You have to put goggles on so you don't rub your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So you put the goggles on, take the Valium, and go to sleep. And that's what I did. So I took enough Valium just to knock
Dang,
me
you
out.
got knocked out,
so
huh?
I
All
got
right.
to get knocked out. So there you go.
All right. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens with Intel World Open. There's online calls or whatever. I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know, man.
Well, the LASIK was amazing, Quincy Pones. Again, I do have to wear glasses now. My vision has degraded over time.
That was quite a while ago.
But I got LASIK like over 20 years ago. I got LASIK about when like Battle Garega was probably created. So I got that LASIK in probably like 1999, 2000. Actually, so it's been a little under 20 years then, or 20 to 19 years that I got LASIK. A long
It's
time
2020.
ago. Yeah, it's 2020. Oh, that's right. We are in 2020 now. So yeah, it's a little... Yeah. But again, despite my vision having gone bad again, so I can't see really well, so I do need to wear the glasses. I don't regret it at all.
Yeah,
Like, I
makes
don't
sense.
regret it for any... Like, that was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, you can get LASIK about twice in your life.
Okay.
And, you know, if I can find a means by which to afford it,
Yeah.
I would definitely consider getting it again, just so I don't have to. Because I want to get contacts, but then you get contacts, and then you gotta soak things, and you gotta do all.
It's
these
not
things.
that big of a chore.
I mean, I had hard contacts before. I had
Uh-huh.
to do it every day,
Same.
and it's annoying just buying solution and soaking contacts every night and everything.
I don't
So.
know if it's annoying, but... All right, whatever about Intel. You know my thoughts on the Olympics
Yeah, I know,
and so forth.
I know. I love the Olympics.
Uh.
The Olympics are amazing, especially if they don't get canceled and I have the ability to work the Olympics.
Mm.
The Olympics are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it supposed to be single a limb or something like that in there as well?
Yeah, there's some aspect of that.
Okay.
I'm just checked out of this conversation.
I
SFL.
feel like you've taken some Valium. You're just like, whatever.
I'm definitely above it. Yeah.
Nutacon, unfortunately, I will not be doing First Attack tomorrow, and also because I had to prep for all of my taxes, I can't do First Attack on Friday either, so I just didn't have time to do the slides.
Okay.
And so I'm going to have to put that off till next week, unfortunately. So, because tomorrow I'm not going to stream until maybe later at night because I've got to do my taxes.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yep.
Street Fighter League is doing things differently this time. Couple of the teams have been announced.
I'm super excited for this.
One of
I'm
the
not gonna
teams
lie.
is Team Psycho Shinobi, Hot Dog 29, Sien, and Infectious.
Yeah, I like that because of Shinobi, because there's the ninjas, and Psycho because it's Bison.
I don't know how they formed that team. I'd like to know what the reason for putting those three players together is, but in any case, that's what they did. More cohesively, there's Team UYU,
That is also really cool.
and it is Oil King, Kami, and NL.
That's gonna be a buff team.
Oh, it is a buff team, but it's a specific UYU team rather than previously a Street Fighter League was. You remember, right? There was the draft and so forth. And,
Yeah, and there was Psycho and Inferno and Frost and
none of them were established esports teams. It was that any three players could end up on a team and they could be whatever esports teams where they're from, yada yada. It was unrelated. Now, at least with Team UYU, they do have a more cohesive Team UYU team.
Right. The nice thing about the UIU team as well is that they are international. So we have a player from Taiwan, a player from China, and a player from the US on that team, which is kind of cool to have that kind of variety. But I mean, my question is there another group that could do that at this point? Is there even a group that has that many Street Fighter players signed to them? Because Echo Fox is gone, completely gone now.
MK Leo, Sonic Fox officially left Echo Fox, by the way.
Yeah.
And in addition, I was going to mention these two things afterwards, but do it now. Cygames Beast disbanded.
Yes. And what's interesting about that is they said is because they're worried now about conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Because they were sponsoring these fighting game players. Now, obviously, they've created Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Yeah.
So, is it weird to sponsor people to play other fighting games?
Right.
Or, so
I
there
get
you
it.
go. Oh, did MK Leo get signed already to a team? They said
Yeah.
signed to T1?
That sounds right. I think I read about that.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that might have been the reason that Cygames Beast was disbanded, I was like, well, I mean...
Yeah. Hey, okay.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, what other team could field a team of just Street Fighter players?
Yes, I don't think one exists right now. Is there? That has that many
I feel
players?
like there must be one other, at least.
I mean, I think you could grab a few more people from UIU, like Brian F. or something. Oh, Brian F's not on that team anymore. That's right. Oh, I forgot about that. Whoops.
Oh, man.
That was revenge
That's
for the
hilarious.
netcode thing, Brian F. No, just
Yeah.
kidding.
Uh,
Equinox,
Red Bull.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
Red Bull. No,
okay.
so they would have to do it, so that would have to be Big Bird, Snake Eyes, and somebody else that's not from Japan.
Snake Eyes is not on it anymore.
Oh, he's not on Red Bull. Oh, dang. But yeah, they can't pull any of the Japanese players on there because remember, Japan has their own SF league. So if it's not Big Bird, Luffy, and somebody else.
Well, I don't know if there's any other team that can do that. So.
Yeah. But Equinox would be a good one if they have 3 people on that team as well.
Well, I mean, any other team. I think it's an interesting take.
Oh,
On the
isn't
idea?
that where Brian F is now? He's
Yeah.
at Equinox now. Okay, there you go. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting way to organize it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yeah, but I'm just more excited because it's so much more international.
Yeah, totally,
You know,
totally.
I mean, but it's gonna be super expensive and for fly people out every week
Mm-hmm.
for that show. Actually, because of all the travel costs and the you know how much nobody's traveling anymore, maybe it'll be cheaper now for them to fly them out every week.
Cheaper. Yeah. Again, we'll see if that even happens.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Well, that's all I have in terms of stuff that has happened.
Okay. Actually, we didn't have as much stuff to talk about as I guess we thought we did.
Yeah, I don't know how that ended up happening, but okay. However, this coming weekend,
Yes.
and I realized I forgot to grab this, is the Final Combat, which is the year-end, well, season-end to the Mortal Kombat Pro competition that has been going on since last May, I think is when it started. So it's been most of a year. Of course, the game came out last April. This is going to be starting Saturday and then finishing Sunday. So
Didn't the Last Chance qualifiers play already?
No,
Or is it-
no,
They are
no.
going to play one there.
the Last
Okay,
Chance
okay.
quals are on Saturday.
Okay.
And then you have, I think I think it's 16 players, right? Yeah, 16 players.
Yeah.
In the actual finals.
So 15 have already been established.
Correct.
And there will be one Last Chance qualifier.
That would be a Last Chance qualifier, too. I'm super stoked for it.
Who do we have in the top 15 currently?
So the matches are going to be Sonic Fox versus Dr. Stabs, who's a player from Canada who qualified
Okay.
by the Canadian-only way of qualifying.
Oh, okay.
Then Hayate versus Rewind, Tekken Master versus whoever wins the LCQ, Foxy Grandpa versus Samij, Dragon.
Dang, really?
Yeah. Dragon versus Nivik.
Man, I got two of my favorite players going up against you.
You know what's funny is I've seen a lot of people say that. Yeah, in that matchup. Yeah, because those are Foxy and Samij are so like fundamentally sound sort of players. Like they're just
And
like
they're happy guys, too.
yeah,
you
totally.
know?
They're great guys. They're great guys. Dragon versus Nivik, Deoxys versus Scar, Ninja Killer versus Conqueror, Dizzy versus Tweety
Okay.
to round it out. By the way, who is no longer playing as Jelly Jiggler.
Oh, that's right. He
For a while, he was trying to make Jelly Jiggler work.
That's right.
And
Okay.
I don't think anybody let him do Jelly Jiggler. So I'm a little bummed because I wanted to say Jelly Jiggler on commentary, but I guess I can still do it. I can just do it. Yeah, that's true.
Although some people might get mad if they don't know what you're referring
I'll just
to.
call him Jelly Jiggler. Fine.
So I'm assuming the Last Chance qualifiers will be on Saturday,
Correct,
and the
that's on
finals are all on Sunday.
You got it, buddy.
Okay, because for me, like I said, the Grand Blue Fantasy Versus thing is on Saturday, and then
Yeah.
that means on Sunday I can rewatch
Sick,
it.
dude.
What's the rule on restreaming these?
I don't know.
I'll have to find out.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Find out. The matches that I'm most looking forward to are probably Ninja Killer versus Conqueror. Conqueror is a player from Brazil who is extremely strong, and when he won the event that qualified him for this, he played so cleanly that I feel like he was like almost unbeatable looking. But Ninja Killer is
amazing.
ridiculously strong.
He was one of those online guys who
Yeah.
turned out to be completely legit. Like,
so good.
okay, he's winning online, but
Yeah.
wait till
Yeah, yeah.
and then he won everything.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
And then he ended up playing Sonic Fox a bunch, so he just got better, right?
Yeah,
Like,
oh
him
yeah,
and
they
Sonic
played a
Fox
bunch.
would just train online.
Yeah, and Ninja Killer holds his own. He's extremely talented.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a matchup they've never played before. I'm very, very excited for that one. I really want to see Fox because they're going to play Joker.
That's right.
They're going to be playing Joker.
We actually forgot to talk about DreamHack Dallas. I mean, DreamHack Anaheim.
Damn.
I mean,
We were there.
we commentated that.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
okay.
bummer.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
That's right. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing Sonic Fox win 2 consecutive esports titles in 2 consecutive different games using the Joker.
That's right.
Sonic Fox won the 2018 Injustice 2 Pro Series with Joker in the end. And they're playing Joker now.
How do people feel about the Joker?
So good.
Joker is really
He's
strong.
super good.
Okay.
Super good.
Okay, so definitely
Seriously,
top tier.
like-
Definitely top tier character.
I would put him in top tier myself. I don't know that I've seen tier lists that have had that, but I might have just missed them because I just feel like his footsies are great, his damage is great setups, like all the things you want. I think he's got.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine too, Sonic Fox. I mean, after the Dragon Ball, his performance at Dragon Ball, they're probably looking for some, you know. I don't want to call it redemption because I mean, does Sonic Fox need redemption?
I don't know, but I think you're right.
You know, Sonic Fox is probably going to practice so much for this.
Super grinding.
And they're going to destroy everybody.
That's I think that's in less positive news, Rewind's father just passed away.
Oh no!
He had cancer, and
yeah,
literally last week.
Because I remember that was at the which event? It was the Injustice event.
Yeah, the Injustice Pro
that
Series
Sonic
finals,
Fox, when they won, they gave half the money to Rewind so that they could treat Rewind's father. I mean, again, I hope that money made it so that, you know, obviously the last few weeks and last few months were much more tolerable.
I hope so. Yeah, it's, you know, I was very sorry to hear that, and it's going to be, I would think, particularly tough
for Rewind
to concentrate. I feel like I wouldn't be able to. That said, sometimes you hear about people losing their parents or loved ones or something, and then they go out and just like do fantastically, like as a way to cope with the situation.
John Choi won those 2 tournaments at Evo, 2 main games, Super Turbo and CBS2, while his dad was like in, you know, very critical condition. He wasn't going to last much longer.
Right.
And it was funny because John Choi told the story that he was like, I'm going to stay home with you. And the dad was like, are you stupid? Like, go out and do this thing, you know, have fun.
Right.
And that was the same father that laughed at him and banged the machine and was like, where's the cheese, you know? Like, I can win $1,000. He's like, where's the cheese?
Yeah.
One of the best scenes.
Totally. But yeah, no, it's right. So there are these examples of people who've been able to make things happen when they've lost loved ones. Mm-hmm. I think my response personally would be that I would just phase out.
Check out.
Yeah, but you know, we'll see what happens for him.
You shouldn't expect that of Rewind, you know. And if Rewind doesn't play well, then you just got to sit there and totally understand, you know.
Yeah. Either way, I just hope the best for him and his family, and I'm sure it's going to be tough, but. We'll see what happens there. Tekken Master is a hard one to call too because nobody knows which character he's going to play. Basically.
And nobody knows which player he's going to play.
Right. So
against.
I almost feel like there's no better player here to tackle whoever wins the LCQ because Tekken Master is going to be ready for anything because he plays so many different characters and he's not going to get caught off guard by anything. So he could play, honestly, I feel like any of 10 characters and I wouldn't be too surprised.
Well, so let me ask you this question. Who would you say are like the top 3 or 5, if you could name 5, most likely that he will go up against? Who's in the last chance qualifiers that you expect to make it out?
Okay, so my expectations are somebody like Gur or Combat or Biohazard. Splash, I think, is a good one to watch for. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but yeah, there are probably about half a dozen people who could plausibly win it, I would think.
Now, do you feel like it's kind of an unfair situation?
Yeah, Silver Rise is a good example. Yeah, K7 makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, there's several.
Do you feel like it's an unfair situation for one of these players to have to not know who their first opponent is while everybody else gets to study?
I think that's a classic problem with these events, which all have an LCQ, but at least it's not like it has been in some other ones where the LCQ winner will go up against the first place overall.
Yeah.
Now what's happening here? I think Tekken Master's in the middle.
I mean, obviously there's also options like Tekken 7 or Red Bull Kumite where the brackets are just done randomly.
Right. So,
you know,
yeah.
The way that I always wanted to do it, just because you want to reward the person who's in first place and stuff like that, just have the person who's seated first pick their opponent. And have the second person pick their opponent, the third person pick their opponent. Just keep going down. And if the first person picks the second person, then the third person goes next. You know, and I think that would be kind of exciting because then that would also add the drama too. If like Punk's like, I'm gonna pick this guy because this guy's weak.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just end up with the craziest bracket.
It's an interesting idea.
It's always kind of how I just wanted to do it because I just feel like that would, one, make it so no one could practice except for the guy who's in first or second or third because clearly they'll probably be like, well, I'm going to pick one of these 2 guys to go first. you know. And I think
This is a cool idea.
yeah,
I agree.
I think it would actually be fun that way, and then you wouldn't have to worry so much about like, because what I don't like is you can look at your path and see that you're most likely not going to run into Zeku. I don't need to train against Zeku. But if you want to be the best player in the world, I would like you going into the tournament going, God, I got to learn how to fight everybody because who the hell I'm going to run into. Except for like Ryu, because we'll never see Ryu in that tournament.
He doesn't
so,
exist.
You know.
Yeah. No, he's all right now.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a show that Aquaman and Big D and Ketchup did yesterday or the day, I think it was yesterday. Just kind of introing it and talking about what to expect.
Okay.
And they had Dragon on, and they were asking Dragon about his path, and Dragon expects to run into at least 3 upgraded Jackies, it sounded like, in the tournament here. Or at least that's plausible, I think is what he said.
By the way, shout outs to the NRS scene and Mr. Aquaman and everybody. The streams that you guys have been doing have been getting like 10K viewers.
It hasn't been me. Yeah, no, they those guys have been killing it.
Yeah. What's the event that they're doing that for?
That was for the Combat Cup Road to LCQ.
Right.
And so the winner of that gets a free pass to the LCQ.
So shout outs to the NRS community stepping up big time there.
Definitely.
You know, like I said, that's the kind of thing I want to see is when a community feels like they got kind of, you know, slighted by not being included into EVO, that it brings them together and makes them a stronger community as well.
They're doing really well.
I think that's really cool.
Totally, dude.
I'm super happy
highly
for
agree
them.
with you.
Super happy for them.
She just...
She's going after the napkins
Ripped the
again.
napkin, yeah.
I was like, who's got Velcro shoes on over here?
Yeah. Well, a lot of these matchups look very interesting.
What are you doing?
People are talking about how upgraded Jackie's going to be a terror. I mean, for sure, like, at least several of these guys are going to be playing that character. But, yeah, I'm very curious to see how things like Joker will do. People are going to be using a bunch of different characters even still. They're going to, at minimum, there's going to be, like, Joker, Jackie, Cetrion, Kung Lao, Liu Kang.
Cetrion's still kind of the
etc.
only zoner in the game.
No.
And is Jade considered really bad?
No. Nobody's considered really bad.
Okay.
She's, I would say, probably on the lower half, but she's good.
Okay.
They're all good. Nobody sucks. Maybe Kano sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that because you want to play Kano?
I don't think I would play Kano, to be
Okay,
honest.
okay.
But he, in my view, is as close as it comes to not being good, and yet, like, Biohazard still keeps making top 8s.
I mean, some people say Shao Kahn and Raiden.
Oh, I don't consider Shao Kahn bad. I think that's a pile of malarkey. I really do.
Okay.
No, again, I don't think anybody actually sucks, but IMO, I think Kano's the weakest in the context of, like, he's still pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of character variety. It's going to be really fun. Very much looking forward to it. We'll see how my voice does with this continued
That's right. How's that been going
voice
for
issue.
you?
Well, I've been gone, so I haven't had a chance to get speech therapy.
We'll have
going
to
yet.
see how you feel after this episode too of talking for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I was actually already sucking on a little throat lozenge for a while.
I saw that, so busted out the throat lozenge.
Ooh.
Thank you for the continued subscription, Adam Sedge.
Kano has the Unga, I guess. I don't know. Does he? I feel like even though Kano can do like 300 plus damage pretty consistently, if he gets the right thing, I still feel like most of the time he's just doing damage because like you got hit by an overhead for like 50 damage. I don't know. Whatever.
It's it's always that situation because I mean this is happening a lot in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. It's been happening a lot in Street Fighter V throughout all 5 seasons. Usually, what makes a character bad is just that another character who's clearly better does everything better, or just does everything you do and more.
Yeah.
Right? So if Kano can get 50% off of a good overhead, but somebody else has a better mix-up that can get a 50% off of the low at the same time, why wouldn't you just use that character when landing an overhead is pretty much, if they have like the similar frame data,
Well, look,
that's the kind of thing.
Biohazard should be playing Terminator for sure.
Yeah, because I mean...
that's what I think, but hey.
I mean,
that's
like,
up to
I'm
him.
playing Loane, for example, right? And he's got cool little shenanigans and tricks, but I feel like Gran can do every single one of those things but better. You know, so why am I playing this character?
I hear
you
ya.
know? But we'll see.
Anyway, it's going to be this weekend. Check it out.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I'm excited, and most likely Spawn will be revealed, and we'll all be able to see Spawn there, right? I mean, they already showed a little bit so far, haven't they?
They showed a screenshot. No, I don't think there was a video.
Okay,
Not that I've seen anyway.
So they're gonna save it for Combat Cup most likely, and be able to give you like a big, maybe an exhibition. They'll let Sonic Fox, try the character out for 10 seconds, and they'll be a master already, and know what they'll be like, yo, this is OD, and then kill everybody with that character.
Probably. Oh yeah, look, I didn't mean to say that Kano and Terminator are the same character. They definitely are different. I'm just if you like the grappler
They're
style,
both cyborgs with glowing eyes.
dang, they're actually the same character.
If you want to play a grappler style, I feel like Terminator is what you should do. But,
Yeah.
whatever. If you like Kano more, that's fine.
Sorry, I should have did it more that. I have glowing eyes. The Conan O'Brien.
like-
Conan O'Brien one. I have glowing eyes.
I think your voice is in trouble after that.
I
I
know,
can feel
right?
it in the back of my throat listening to you. All right, so there will be a Spawn gameplay trailer shown on Sunday.
Yeah, see, I figured that much.
Cool.
So that's going to be cool to watch.
Yeah.
If you guys do have a chance to check out the Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, please do. But obviously, if you're super interested in that Mortal Kombat tournament, definitely watch that. And again, the more people who watch it, the better. Because, like I said, I want to see that. I want to see the game support. I want to see the event support. I want to show that the NRS community is strong, and that they have a lot of community support.
Agreed,
For
man.
the game. So there you go.
I'm very much looking forward to hanging out with everybody. I'm gonna bring my stick, and I definitely want to play.
It's going to be cool. We'll get dunked. It'll be fun.
Dude, speaking of, so every time I play Street Fighter V, I just play you, and I just get destroyed and dunked on all day, and I'm like
Sorry.
really frustrated and upset and
You
stuff.
shouldn't be.
And then I went and I did my first Learn to Fight. Well, I've tried to do Learn to Fights with Lucia before, but first time I just didn't know her well enough for it to be educational. Second time, the netcode just made me mad, and I quit after 3 games. And then I just did it again recently, and I only lost 1 game, and I beat everybody else, and I was playing really well, and I was like landing all the stuff, and I was like, I feel really good with this character. I was like, it's just that stupid Honda match. It's like stupid Honda.
Well, I even told you. I thought that you were improving.
Yeah,
I'm glad. By the way, I'm glad that you're remembering the good stuff about this set. Honestly, I'm being serious because you don't a lot of the times. You remember the negativity.
I never remember it.
You remember the negativity.
I mean, it's hard to remember the negativity when I won everyone except for 1 game, right? Which was me walking into Sonic Scythe all day because 1, who plays Nash, and 2, I still can't get that out of my head. So I'll walk into Sonic Scythe because it looks like a jump. I'll walk into Ibuki's overhead because it looks like a jump, and I still need to fix that. So
Anyway, you are good.
yeah, so
You're working on it, dude.
honestly, I feel like it's that, and also even just that one day that I sat there and I played a crap ton of Uniclair on stream with a bunch of my viewers. We just sat there and there was like 5 of us in the lobby, and it was like one of them was using Batista and was being super annoying zoning, and I had to remember how to get in again, and then I was trying, and I didn't even know about one of her buffs.
Okay.
I totally was playing with her with one of her like the amazing, like I saw that they gave her this buff. I was like, why would you do this? This is ridiculous. On Uniclair, it was crazy. Batista. I always say Batista because it's I pronounce the V as a B, like Spanish wise. I don't know why, because
Not the only language that does that. Yeah.
yeah. But it's just I've been playing more fighting games, and I just feel like my brain is getting more focused into fighting game mentality. So
For sure.
it
That's
just
definitely
feels
how it
nice.
happens. Yeah. That's
It
good.
feels nice. Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah, but now Nanase can cancel her fireballs into the force function where she flies.
Yeah.
So she can throw fireballs in the air and then start flying immediately.
Sick.
And I was just like, why would you do this to her?
Cool.
Like, why would you give this to her? She was already good in the last one. She was a good character. Now apparently she's really good. And yeah, her routes and everything she does is just so fun because, like I said, and that's the thing. Once you get them in the corner, she has so many options now. If you're willing to spend all the grid on force functions all the time, but she has so many options when she gets in the corner because of that force function to just lock you down and mix you up in so many different ways. And every time she hits you with something, she can set up these different enders to set you up for different situations. And that's why, like I said, I just sit there in training mode for an hour and literally a person's on block, and I just sit there and just do this all day and see how much I can keep mixing the options without stopping and going, what am I supposed to do, or what am I trying to do here? So I just like keep mixing up all the mix-ups over and over and over again and trying all these different things.
That's cool.
And,
that sounds fun.
it's so good. It's so good.
Well, I believe that's everything. Let me check
The only thing I have on there is
that's all.
Teppen.
Oh, of course.
The only thing left I have
haven't
on
played the
there
new
is
season
Teppen.
yet.
March 1st, Teppen new season came out, and it's going to be really interesting. Obviously, the best thing about it is, Yan got nerfed.
Right.
Because, I mean, I went and played ranked one time, and it was Yanli.
I know. And I was one of them.
Well, the thing about it is, I was complaining about it online, and, a Horrible Chopstick, talked to me about it, and he was like, you shouldn't talk so much trash about the players who play Chun.
Yeah.
Because I was like, basically was just like, do these players know that they're frauds? Or,
Yes.
you know.
I did.
Yeah, and the thing about it was, too, because he says, like, well, also, this game, by playing online, you actually get invited to Worlds. So you have money on. You actually have money on the line.
That's a good
and
point.
I was like, I didn't even think about that because I'm a fighting game player. I just feel like online is whatever.
Right.
I don't realize that there's those kind of stakes.
Ranked actually matters.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah, I deleted the tweet because I was
fair
like,
enough,
okay,
yeah.
I understand. So shout outs to him for helping me remember that, because so you want to play the most broken
Right.
thing online, clearly. But, it got nerfed. I honestly don't think it got nerfed enough. It's still going to be super good. It
That's
went
fine.
from 15 AP to,
It's 20,
to
right?
20 AP. And honestly, I don't think it's that terrible of a nerf. And I really think that Green is still going to be super buff. I still
That's
think
good, though.
Yanli is going to be... Yeah, I think it's good, but I still think it's actually kind of almost too good still. Because it's not even just that. It's because she still has freaking Gold Orb and Quetzal. They lowered
Yeah.
the defense. The defense wasn't the problem.
I know. I think that's funny. Yeah.
Right, they lowered the defense.
From 8 to 6. Not even
Yeah,
that
I
much.
know, right? Like, I see it, and I'm still like, God, I hate this
Yeah,
card.
it's still very good.
Yeah, it should have been like 4-8
Come
or something
on.
like that. Come
They
on.
didn't need to
With
kill
a
it.
shield. I mean, it's got a shield on
it's
it.
very good. So I just think that it was. Yeah, they nerfed it. It's okay.
I mean, let's put it this way. They nerfed the damage on it just a tiny bit, but then they absolutely murdered Beltway earlier, and they murdered Shadowblade as
Look,
well.
man.
So, I mean...
that wasn't great, but they shouldn't do that to everybody. It should be that they shouldn't have done it then.
Right,
than
exactly.
They should here.
I mean, honestly, like, I know I'm salty because I use Morrigan.
Yes,
I
you
think
are.
she's clearly the worst hero right now because she's the only hero that doesn't have anything under 18 for hero arts.
APs, yeah.
And then also that 18 one, they just nerfed it to uselessness, basically. Because before, she did 4 damage and gained 4 health. And if she hit a flying creature, she did 6 damage and gained 4 health. Now, she only gets 2 health, no matter what.
You don't
No
think
matter what
she's
she
still
hits.
better than Dante?
No, Dante is better now. Clearly better now. And Dante big resonate decks are way scarier than Morrigan ones because the healing was the only thing that made that work. Without that, she was only doing 4 damage.
Yeah.
The damage was never part of the equation. You mostly damaged people with their Shadow Blade so that you could 4-eyes it. Like, that was more what you were using it for. But now, Zero's Hero Art 1, makes
Oh, yeah, I haven't played Zero.
everything Morrigan wants to do completely pointless.
Okay.
In terms of Forgan. So I have what I call my 40 deck now.
Okay.
Because it's 4-0. It's the 4s deck with 0. So it's the 40 deck, right? So I'm using my 40 deck. But yeah, his first hero art, 14 AP.
Okay.
It either gives you a card that gives you +2/+4, or a card that destroys anything that's 6 MP or lower, and they both cost 1. And they're action cards.
They're action cards.
They just cost 1.
Huh.
And so Shadowblade, which costs 18, can't even kill half the things that exist out there. And now it only gives you 2 health. And 0 is just like, whatever, you're dead.
Yeah, okay. Right.
So there's like no point to play Morrigan anymore, and it makes me sad. It makes me really, really, very, very sad. There's other ways to make her work. She can still work with like flying decks. You can still make her with the big Resonate Halt decks and stuff like that. But, again, I feel like other characters would just do better with those decks anyway. You know, so honestly,
What color is Zero?
Purple. He is a purple
Okay.
deck, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
can do everything
Yeah,
Morrigan can do.
Huh.
And at this point in time, I've told myself I'm not going to play Morrigan anymore. I'm just got to drop her, otherwise I'm just going to be too salty this whole entire season.
Makes sense,
so.
and I mean, like you even said before, card games aren't like fighting games, and there's just going to be like a few decks each season that are the legit ones, and you just gotta be cool with that.
It's interesting because they started adding a bunch more cards that were based off of reducing attack from the opponent.
Okay.
So, like, one of the new 4 cards that they got is really good. It's agility, and every time it attacks, it drains the attack of one random guy by 1.
Okay.
So you can actually drain them by 2 before they can hit you because it's agile, right? And so it works in the 4s deck and everything like that. And so I was like, I'll build a Morrigan deck based off of this. But none of her super arts supplement that. You know what I mean? None of her hero arts actually work with that. So
Okay.
I said I would love to see it if they just took Shadowblade, just zeroed all of its damage. It just doesn't do damage anymore. It just gives you 2 health and drains the target to 1 attack permanently. Obviously, they can up it later on again if they wanted to, but Morrigan's biggest problem is that she can't kill big damage units that have a lot of health. And so it's almost a guaranteed way to kill them. So I just played against a Morrigan who was using Shadowblade, bless their soul, for doing that. And I was using my Wesker. And I did the exact same thing to that person that every one of them does to me. I just dropped a Valhazak. It was like 15-10.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and just watched. And watched as Morrigan was like, let me try this. Let me try. And put something in front of it. Dark Destruction.
Yeah.
Dead. Pow. 15 damage. Oh, let me try. Damage. I can't. Like, meat shield it once. Meat shield it twice. Meat shield it 3rd time. Oh, I built up enough for my Nash that I'm going to murder your next card that you dropped there. I mean, she can't do. But
I hear ya.
if her Shadowblade was like 1 unit down to 1 attack, I think that would actually have been a really cool way to make her work. I think that would have been a really cool way to make her work. Let me balance this game. Help you guys balance. I can do stuff in really creative ways, man. But,
what's the new memory mechanic?
So I really like the memory mechanic. I really, really like the memory mechanic. So in Season 2, they introduced Explore, which was to get a bunch of action cards or even units and play them. In Season 3, they implemented Growth. And what Growth did was you dropped a unit, you dropped another unit to grow that unit, and, based off of that, so it was unit. Ascension was you drop a unit and then you drop another unit on top of that to destroy it. So it was unit. So basically action cards started kind of going by the wayside. So what memory is now is every time you use an action card, you gain 1 memory point.
Okay.
And now there's a lot of cards that will gain power-ups based off of how big your memory is.
Okay.
So in other words, if I've used 4... So like there's one card, for example, that will destroy any unit. Destroy any single unit randomly.
Okay.
At memory 7, so if you've used 7 action cards, it just destroys all the enemies.
Interesting.
And there will be certain cards that when they come in, you can negate a card that's... 2 MP or less, but if you have memory 4, it's 3 MP or less. You have units that when they drop in, if the memory is a certain amount, you gain +2 plus this or whatever.
Okay.
So it kind of brought the focus back to action cards, which also rebuffed Explorer, because Explorer often gives you action cards, and Explorer kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. So I really like the mechanic that they added in with memories. I feel like they needed to pull it back into a little bit more of an action card focus like that.
Okay, cool.
I think
that
it's
makes
really
sense.
Cool. Yeah. Game is really a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. I get mad. I get salty about a lot of things. But that's just my nature.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to know that that's how I am. I just get salty about everything. So, I mean, you see it a lot more than a lot of other people do. So, freaking Honda. Can't believe the guy has to haunt me in every game.
Today on this stream earlier, I analyzed the set between Cool Kids Honda and
somebody's
Smug's,
G, right?
Smug's G, and then his Boxer.
Oh, okay.
And it seemed like it was Smug's first time playing against a good Honda, so
okay.
He was definitely not entirely up on what to do.
Well, I mean,
it was interesting.
It seems like Honda kind of beats G, but maybe has a little trouble against Balrog Boxer.
So both Cool Kid and Smug think that they think that it's 5-5.
Okay.
And I could see that.
Okay.
But yeah, Cool Kid thinks that it's a slight win for Honda versus G, and I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy. Having a character that kind of beats G.
Its EX butt slam is so good.
And then the other thing too is that G's weakness of getting locked down actually is a problem because Honda has so many plus frames.
Yeah,
compared to
a lot of plus frames.
Characters.
And then while there's so many strengths for G, and he has a good neutral game, but the button that for him deals most easily with Honda's pressure is stand medium kick.
Of course, yeah.
And other characters' mediums will like combo into stuff. Stand medium kick's just a hit.
Oh,
and
right.
so if you're Honda and you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna do a thing that's like maybe unsafe, but we'll see. Versus other characters, I'm gonna get hit by like something big,
right?
Medium punch or medium kick into whatever.
Yeah.
But for G, it's like I just get kicked for like 60 damage, so it's actually not that important.
Okay. And then if he throws it out too much, you could probably whiff punish it with an EX butt slam or something.
Oh, you can definitely whiff punish it.
And if you're wrong, you're +5.
Exactly. Yeah.
God. I hate that move.
It's great.
Yeah, I was actually testing the thing that you were telling me to do, which was hit buttons a lot between hand slaps because you can actually stop things. And the one thing that I found out is if I block a medium hands and you try to steal the turn with a light or another medium hands, I can just mash crouching medium kick.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
I will beat the medium hands and I actually trade with the light hands and then can continue the combo afterwards.
Sick.
I do crouch medium kick, trade crouching medium kick into run.
That's cool.
And stuff. But then obviously if you know that, you hit a button early and then you actually frame trap my crouching medium kick. And there's the mind games.
There's
right
a mind
there.
game around it. But you make me think about the extra layer.
Now you don't get to hand slap at me for free.
That's good.
Basically. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Now, obviously, if you hit different buttons, you can, or just wait, you can also whiff punish my crouching medium kick as well.
But that's the game.
That's the game. And, I at least I have something there. I didn't realize that was that every time you did hands into hands, it was a stealing turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that part's not obvious.
Right.
Like, you feel like you block hands. You're just like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So I didn't realize that was a turn stealing thing. But again, it's like M. Bison. It's just there's so many plus things that exist. So it's like, dealing with it is such a pain. So I mean, Honda really is an alternate M. Bison.
I think they're quite similar.
Yeah, I really feel like that way.
I agree.
So,
alrighty, well, that's all I got. Anything else to discuss?
No, I talked about a lot of the things that, like I said, I've been excited about. It's so funny because, like, when Zeta first came out, in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, everyone's like, James, you look like you would play Zeta.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. She seems kind of boring. She just has a spear, and she just plays kind of boring. She kind of has these, like, interesting options, but whatever. Like, Lowain seems a little more interesting. And then everyone keeps saying, like, Zeta's not good. And now now I'm like, now I'm interested. I was like, why am I like this?
That's pretty funny.
Why am I like this? So I actually started learning Zeta. I don't know why I'm like this. Why am I doing like this? Dude, that's Metal Face Doom. That is 100% why I stopped playing her in Street Fighter V. Because she bored me to tears. In fact, she bored me so badly that my enjoyment of Street Fighter V was so destroyed by that. Yeah. That when I picked up Lucia, like, it's like a brand new game. Right. I am having so much fun with that character now.
Yeah, she's a bore in SF5 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play her in Street Fighter 4 when she had Tiger Knee Cannon Strike because that made her interesting. Yeah. Tiger Knee Cannon Strike was fun. When they got rid of her, I hated her. Yeah. I hated that when they got rid of that. And then I never played her in Alpha. CVS2, she wasn't too exciting. I even didn't play her in that one that much either. But in Super Turbo, she's super fascinating.
She's very fun in Super Turbo, for sure. That's the most fun Cammy.
Yeah, because she's a grappler in that game. She's a grappler, but instead of walk-up SPD, it's hooligan throw.
Yeah.
And so
she's fast move speed.
She's a sprightly grappler. Yeah. I play her more like a grappler than I play as a pixie character. And I like that. And after many years, I've come to that realization that I liked her because she was a grappler in that game.
Definitely.
More than anything. And they've just never brought that back.
No, they never have wanted to bring that back. Yeah, they've definitely doubled down on the boring side.
Yeah, people have asked me how I would change Cammy to be fun in Street Fighter V, and I just said I would just make her Super Turbo Cammy. I mean, they give freaking Birdie EX Dolphin Dive. I mean, why are you not scared of that? Why can't EX Hooligan be that? You know what I mean? I don't know why.
I don't know either. But you've definitely been bored by Cammy since probably like 2011 or
yeah.
Right?
Ever since Arcade Edition.
Yeah.
Since Arcade Edition.
Or...
So as soon as
2011,
the original Arcade Edition came out, that's why I kept saying she sucked, because they took away all the stuff that I wanted to enjoy out of her. But then after a while, I realized, oh, I see, she's back throw into ambiguous jump character, and
she was really good, just in a boring way.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to learn this. I don't care. And then basically, by the time it got to 2012, that's when I quit, because I couldn't find the fun. And I quit because of unblockables and the ambiguous cross-up stuff and the set play. But I think also because I just got bored of using that character. She just wasn't fun. She just wasn't fun.
Thanks for the sub, Kwanzai.
Yes. Hooligan is the rolling ball, and in Super Turbo it was very fast, and it grabbed crouching characters as well, but she sucked.
Yeah.
So it was a extremely overpowered move for a character that wasn't very good, but that's kind of what that's like the essence of a grappler.
Yeah.
You know, SPDs are an overpowered move. And so, but Lucia, God, that character
Lucia's cool.
So fun.
Lucia's definitely cool.
She's so fun. Like, that character's made me so happy again.
I'm really happy with my cast of characters currently. I'm playing Baraka, and I'm playing Terminator, and I'm playing Honda.
Oh, you're playing Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, I have to.
Okay.
His variation 2 is, like, exactly what I want to be doing. Grab people.
Okay.
And I'm playing Honda, and I'm playing Dawson. Yeah. And I'm having a blast. I feel like those characters are so me, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because like I really love Lucia right now. Mm-hmm. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I'm still working on trying to find the character that's gonna speak to me.
Okay.
Although Luane, I don't know, I might get stuck on him just because he's so bizarre and awkward. But I mean, Nanase, like I said, it's the execution dance that you have to do at all moments, and the options that she has makes her super fun. I mean, cool. I'll admit, in Uniel, I mean, she totally looked like she was a boring, straightforward character, but like, turned out she wasn't. But then now all the later versions, she's just gotten like more and more interesting, and they even fixed a buff in Uniclair that I complained about in Uniel.
Okay, nice.
And they actually buffed that, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I would have I never get my wish.
Right, yeah.
I never get my wish. And all it was is that she's the only character that got nothing out of hitting an uppercut. If I uppercutted you, I was negative, practically. But now she can now the hit stun on the uppercut is longer, so that you can actually get a meaty on people. And I was like, I get stuff because everybody else got ridiculous Oki off their uppercuts. Why can't I do that? So...
I am loving watching Arturo Sanchez playing V-Skill 2 Dhalsim. It's honestly so fun to just watch. Like
I'm so mad.
his V-Skill 2 V-Trigger 2 Dhalsim is just, honestly, go watch his stream archives. Like, he's just constantly cackling. He's constantly having a blast. He's doing sick stuff constantly, dude. That looks so fun. And I haven't really been playing it that much because when Dhalsim's were relooking at V-Skill 2, I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then I was gone for a week.
Right.
And before that, I had to do crunch time work because I was going to be gone for a week. So I haven't been there to do it, but I guess I'll probably have to wait until next week because I'm in crunch time for work because I'll be gone for Final Combat. So I'm not going to have much time this week, but I'm so stoked about it.
So mad.
So stoked.
I'm so mad because everybody were so mad and angry about V-Skill 2. And I was on Twitter, I was like, there's probably still some things, like, it was
a mindset thing. I mean, when I watch Art play, even still, well, I guess maybe not now, but for the first, several days of him playing it, he would constantly waffle between playing this zoning style and trying to be the mobile kind of SF5 Dhalsim that you think, should be doing set play, should be getting in there for Gale, those are two different styles, and all the Dhalsims, me included, were in that mindset so strongly that when V-Skill 2 came out and we had the option to zone, we actually didn't think about it. I know it sounds so weird, but after playing Dhalsim for so long, in one way,
you just sort of get into the mindset of like, dude, this is what should be done.
Commander Jesse's in the chat. He was cackling when he was fighting poor Danny Pham at DreamHack, right?
He was.
So, I mean...
Well, okay, that was one matchup that everybody
was
like...
that's a terrible matchup, yeah.
This is a matchup where you play V-Skill too.
I mean, it was just... Because when everyone was like, Dhalsim, clearly one of the worst. I'm like, I don't know. I think he's still kind of good. The V-Skill's terrible. I'm like, I don't know. It looks kind of good to me. And then I got attacked by like 4 Dhalsim people on Twitter.
I hear you. I mean, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'm okay with that.
They're like, oh man, you can't do jump strong in the thing because then you can get counter. I'm like, then don't do the jump strong and build it up, and now you have this great tool.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, why can't we get our max damage because they nerfed the damage of EX Flame? And then I was like, everybody character does this. They drop their combos to charge up this cool tool that makes them powerful.
However, far jab and far short should combo into EX Flame.
Yeah, probably.
They should fix that.
Yeah. So he can have some.
Come on.
Far jab?
Well, just if you ever do stand jab, stand short, or jab into EX Flame.
Okay.
Sometimes the EX Flame just like won't hit.
Yeah. Sometimes it just misses.
Weird, yeah.
It's inconsistent.
It's inconsistent. It is. So it should be normalized.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
I really think that's true.
Has anyone sat down and studied why that happens?
It's just a distance thing, and sometimes you're like a pixel away.
And it could also be a late cancel on those buttons too, by one or two frames.
Maybe
you just have to make sure you buffer it instantly or something like that.
I really think the range thing is a bigger issue, but
yeah.
I mean maybe. Anyway, they should fix that. But the rest of the character seems good.
I'm still mad. I think I have a right to be mad.
That's fine. I mean, like I said, I'll admit when I'm wrong.
I was telling all these guys, and it wasn't even you. Like it was everybody else. I was like, maybe there's something with this. And anyways.
I don't think it's breathing animations because that's usually like in a combo already.
Yeah, and also another thing too is that in Street Fighter V they made sure that nobody's hitbox moves when they're in their neutral animation. That was something that they literally made sure of that wouldn't happen.
Anyway, so Dhalsim should be able to always combo a light into EX Flame. I mean, obviously not further. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not with punish, but
just
like
not in that weird
in a
range
typical combo range. Like,
right?
Come on,
yeah. For sure.
All right. Well, anyways, I'll tell you. So, last night, Joe Biden did good.
Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about this.
And I'm feeling all right about it as a major lefty Sanders guy.
You're definitely feeling better about it than I am.
Well, I'm not sure that Sanders is going to win. However, I will say that in the context of what the Democratic Party has to be, I'm very encouraged at how well progressives are doing. So the Democratic Party has to be the party of everybody who's not in wild Trump land, right? So that's most of the political spectrum. It's everybody from Sanders on one side to some very conservative Democrats on the other side. Biden's not even as further right as some Democrats in the Congress are. It has to be all of these people. Neoliberals, super capitalist, all the way down to Bernie Sanders, Democratic Socialist. Like, it's all one party. We have to fit in the same one.
Yes.
So in that context, for a progressive candidate to be doing as well as Sanders is doing, I'm very encouraged by, because it means that the percentage of all reasonable voters right now that are cool with progressive ideas is actually pretty big.
Yeah.
And while I don't think that I would bet anymore that Sanders would win the nomination, for the future, that potential coalition will still be there.
He's setting up
It's a movement, right? It's not just about him.
Yeah.
He's an older guy. He's not going to last that much longer, honestly. And there are people coming up who will be that. And I'm very encouraged for the future, I'll be frank.
I honestly feel like he's kind of just setting up Ocasio-Cortez to be
That's what,
president.
yeah. Give her another, decade or something.
Yeah, she's not old enough right now, but I feel like, because I mean, she's kind of like a rock star.
Yeah.
In that mode right now.
Yeah,
so.
and not even just her. I mean, I'm encouraged about the future. So while Biden might win this one, obviously we all have to vote for whoever.
I'm gonna
is.
vote
for
Biden.
Right? But
yeah,
he's
as
not
much
my
as I don't like him.
Yeah, he's not my preference, but of course. And I think that the Democratic nominee, whoever it is, has a good chance to beat Trump. I'm not confident in that, but I think it's like a good chance.
The worst thing about this whole entire setup is that what I hate the most, and this is me being also, I mean, even in the last election, I was big on Bernie and I was very down on Hillary as well.
Yeah.
I've been kind of on that Bernie train for a while, even when I didn't need free healthcare. You know, I was kind of, it was just, the man's consistent. Like, it doesn't feel like he ever, like, the way that I always put it is, like, I feel like a lot of the other candidates get convinced by media. You get convinced by media.
Yeah.
I just get convinced by listening to him talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just hear what he says and I'm like, yes. And that's all I want. But, you know, the worst thing about the whole thing is that it has, especially with the Bernie versus Hillary situation, it really set up this even in-party fighting kind of thing where, like, now even, like, oh, these Bernie voters, oh, if Biden becomes the nominee, I'm not voting for him. I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
We all have to vote for him, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's to be expected in the context of modern politics in the U.S. that there's going to be very different nominees, potential nominees in the Democratic Party, because it's everybody who's not in Trump land. And that's most of the political spectrum. It's not like how it used to be, where there was relatively like a leftish party, Democrats never been super left, but leftish, and a conservative party that had everything from like right-wing fundamentalists to like pretty chill moderates, right? It's not like that anymore. You have one party that is way out there, and you have another party that just has to be everybody else. It just, that's how the parties work. We can only have two.
If Biden does get the nomination and he is the candidate for the Democrats, man, that debate, like, I'm telling you right now,
World's worst debate.
SNL doesn't even need to do a cold open. They just need to replay exactly what happened.
That would be so good if they did that.
They don't even need to do a parody anymore. They could just probably put it right there, and
that would be so good.
Like, I feel like that would be genius if they did that.
If I were Trump, I wouldn't have a debate.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I think that I would not want to debate. Not because I think that Biden would be so great against him in a debate, but because if I were Trump, I wouldn't want to take any risk that my dumbassery would, like...
But it doesn't matter. People love it.
Well, so what I would do is continue his brand of dumbassery. His intentional dumbassery. I mean, but he could also just be shown to be like a complete idiot, which he is. So if I were him, I would want to minimize any chance of there being anything I'm not controlling.
Right.
Which is why they don't do press conferences anymore, really.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're just minimizing that stuff just to go to his base. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just didn't do debates.
Yeah. Personally. And honestly, I mean, another thing too is, like, I mean, obviously it's not over for Bernie yet, right? So
no. Yeah, they still got a decent chance at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was a very surprising night, but interesting.
Yeah.
See?
I've been having a 2020 so far.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it's what I would call dumbassery that Trump does. He doesn't consider himself a dumbass at all. He thinks he's a genius, of course. But there's no reason for him to get off message.
Yeah.
Because his base is his base. It's not going to go anywhere. He doesn't need to convince more people. That's not the trick of it for him. He's got a very funky situation out there. Very unique. Having a personality cult, it's got its benefits.
I just want to have healthcare for everybody.
Yeah, me too. Warren has not dropped out yet. I read later today that there was some rumblings in her staff, that her staff thinks that she should quit. I don't know if that's true, but I guess we'll see. I don't think she owes anybody quitting.
Yeah. I don't think so either. The thing that makes me the most sad is that her and Bernie used to be a really powerful team a long time ago. And I hate the fact that now they seem like they just despise each other or something.
I think that's probably not true.
I hope not, because I hope even if, let's say, Bernie does get the nom, that there is still a chance that he could put Warren as his VP. Like, I hope the relationship is not that fractured.
That'd be so cool.
Because, I mean, honestly, I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. Do I think Bernie can last 2 terms? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Just realistically speaking.
Realistically
speaking. And it would be nice if Warren was in the wings to be able to carry on a lot of what he
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
But I think if he did that, it would be great.
Yeah.
I would expect somebody a little bit more moderate, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's the strategy,
right? The strategy of it.
That's why Biden was even as VP for Obama,
right? Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Hey, did you see that picture I put up on Twitter of me with Biden?
I did! I can't believe you actually met him.
Joe Biden, and I hugged him.
And you couldn't even remember that you did.
I completely forgot.
I can't believe you forgot.
I forgot.
I would have, that's just...
completely escaped my mind until one of my friends posted on Facebook this photo of us all with him. We met him in 2007 when he was running for the Democratic nomination in D.C., where I was living and going to school at the time. And my friends and I were just like at a local restaurant, and he came in for whatever reason. I don't even know the context of it, but he was there for some meeting.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't sniff your hair though, right, or anything?
I don't remember anything like that. Okay. He was a perfect gentleman
just
around me.
Making sure.
Now, my friends who were there who were women, they all got sniffed. I don't
remember seeing any women in that picture.
No, there were not.
Oh, man.
But I think it's funny that on that tweet that I put out, at least 3 people were like, "Did he sniff your hair?" Different people. And now it's you as well.
I'm sorry.
No, I think that's very telling because, yes, we're all concerned that he's really weird about women and it's going to be bad in the general election. Somehow there's
already Trump ads about it.
This will definitely happen. Yeah, okay. Trump, credibly accused of rape by multiple women, is going to have ads and make fun of Joe. There's already there. For just being weird.
Yeah, and
there's no allegations of rape for Joe Biden.
Right,
I seriously, and there are people who will buy that stuff.
Someone posted that ad, and I sat there and I watched, and I was like, "This is coming from the Trump."
From Trump,
like it's literally like what your kids are watching. What do you think? Who do you think you're putting into the White House? Vote Trump. And I was like,
an actual rapist, most likely, credibly accused.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I'm very exasperated about that. All right. But as far as the state of the progressive movement in the U.S., I am, long-term wise, cautiously optimistic. All we got to do is make sure that we don't lose the right to vote in democratic elections. And cool, we should be good. That should be easy, right, James? Just make sure we don't lose the right to democratically vote. Should be easy.
Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. I feel like we need to end this with the sad parts of the music again, but no, I'm not going to do that. So, okay. Anything else that you want to talk about here?
I'll see y'all at Final Combat.
Oh yeah, that's right. So again, make sure you guys tune into that if you can get the chance. Also, try to tune into the Grand Blue Fantasy Versus stuff that's coming up this weekend as well. I mean, honestly, it's a good time to be a fighting game player because there's so many good games and so many fun characters to use.
I agree with that.
So it's just really cool. It's just really cool.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we will see you guys next. Oops, I forgot to add the other key. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for.
The U.S. can't have more than 2 political parties. That's how winner-take-all political systems go. There's literally mathematical proofs about that it will just always end up in 2 political parties.
Oh, really?
But maybe if one political party that actually cares about the democratic process wins, maybe they do ranked choice voting in some places. It's already starting to happen. And if that happens, then more political parties become viable.
Right. So, okay. If it's like a Boolean thing where it's like you vote for this guy and that's it. And then it's...
Anyway, we'll see if there's change. All right, later, y'all.
Is that playing? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, stop. I gotta turn the volume up. There we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
There we go.
All right. Nope, it mostly doesn't. We do not have a good voting system. Later.